All right, everyone. Whoever is here, if anybody's here, welcome to another Emmet stream. We're gonna be seeing some interesting stuff, kind of interesting. This is like one of my favorite experiments ever made, which is cool, I guess. Um, I'm also testing a new microphone. I don't think anybody's here yet, which is fine. Um, that happens, and whatever happens is fine as well. Um, Yo, K2, how are you doing tonight? Um, can you hear me well? Is it too loud? Is it like uh got a link? What do you mean got a link? You wanna come up as in yes, it's good. Okay. Um so this is a new mic. I bought it for karaoke, not necessarily for today. It's a little bit loud for what I can see, but but yeah, let me if he wants to come up, I'll allow it because I am very nice. Um, there we go. I'm just that nice. The nicest, some say. Um, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, that's better. That is better. Let's change my stream here. Oh no. Is this one? Yeah. Just send it to you, K2. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yes, sir. Uh, uh-oh. What's going on? Oh, yeah, that's right. That makes sense. Yeah, this looks good. You okay, too? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Give me just 1 second. It's on my end. Okay, I can hear you now.
All right, you can hear me? Yeah, dude, that mic. When I first heard it, I'm like, something's different. Then you're like, oh, I got a new mic, and I'm like, sounds like super crisp. You know what I'm saying? Like clear.
What?
That's why I was asking for a link, dude. It sounds great. I think it was that perfect, but I also wear a headset when I'm
It's a little bit.
listening. So
It's a little bit loud. It's a little bit loud.
I I'm just saying that's good. It's a little. Just because usually sometimes it's a little bit lower, I have a hard time hearing on the headset. On the headset, it sounds perfect.
The other thing that is cool is that I can get a little bit away, and it's not like super low like the other one. The other one I get
Yeah.
like this far away, and it's gone. It's gone forever. I have to be
Oh,
like
dude,
this.
it literally sounded like your old mic when you were far. So like,
Yeah,
beautiful.
perfect.
That's why I was like, just send me a link because you were asking me all this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I asked for I always ask for a link just to push your buttons, but whatever.
Emmett,
Joking.
you better have had a good Friday. If it's not a good Friday, it is now. It's okay. It's an
Oh,
okay Friday.
It's a really good
Do
Friday.
you know of Universe 25?
I do not. Please explain.
Universe 25 is like my favorite weird experiment ever, and we're gonna look at it today.
Is the whole? Oh, can I guess what it is first?
Yeah, you can
No,
guess.
wait, no. Oh, I was thinking of the Philadelphia experiment where they tried to teleport a battleship or something like that, and then everyone came. I got it mixed up. I thought it was that
No, no,
for a
no, no.
minute, and then I'm like,
The
no, that's the Philadelphia experiment.
uh this experiment. Give me a second. Oh, by the way, I also
And
changed the way that my mic is set up, so it's a bit of a mess.
did you get your stand or did you weld
Yeah,
one?
I got my stand. Look,
Sweet.
so I can just use it easier.
I'll re look at it later. I just took a quick downstairs.
It's oh crap. Well, that happened. Yeah.
But as soon as people start pouring in, feel free to give me a kick, and then you can do your thing, so I'm not a distraction. I just want you were asking me. I figured you were gonna ask me about the mic
Well,
too,
I
so
can
I
just
was
put
just
it
like,
here, which is fine.
yeah.
This is the when I watch this video that explains the experiment, which is like this video specifically from Down the Rabbit Hole is a cool ass video, and the experiment is also a cool ass experiment. So it's kind of weird. It's a weird experiment.
It's like a catch 21 or whatever you want to call it. Wait, no.
K2, thank you for what you said. Stuck with me. Should ask for money. I did and got it. Oh, okay.
Wait, say that one more time.
Cecil says, "Oh, K2. Thank you. What you said stuck with me. Should ask for money. I did and got it." And then says, "Haha." I don't know what he's talking about.
Hmm.
The standing strong 10 toes down. Let's talk about the mice. Exactly, it's about the mice. So this is a very old experiment, and the whole point of the experiment was that they wanted to know what happened when you have like utopia for um this person want to know what happened if you create like an utopia, and he created an utopia for mice. So they didn't need to pretty much they didn't need to do anything. They had all the food they needed, they had all the water they needed, they had enough space as they needed, and they didn't have to like worry about predators or anything like that.
Oh, I know what. I don't mean to cut you off. I know what Cecil's talking about. I said you should have asked for more money since you had experience with the kitchen, and he said he got it.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. He said that he was getting like that he got a good pay and that he's getting a promotion because
Oh,
they realize that he knows what he's doing. So like
well,
uh the moment he gets like
just
more stuff, he probably is gonna be getting more.
yeah, just a round of applause for Cecil. Just 2 days on the job.
Yeah, and he was like well yeah, he told me that he's doing pretty good and he likes what he's doing. Just pretty cool, to be honest.
I didn't mean to
Um,
cut you off. I just realized what he said.
yeah.
I was like, wait.
So this whole video is about that. We're gonna be watching that, which is pretty cool. If you wanna stay, we can stay. You can stay and you can ask questions and whatever. I read about it a long time ago. I haven't read about the experiment more ever since. So I might be misremembering shit, but it's a cool thing that the video goes through all of it. Um, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. Also, I have the two mics. Like, I didn't return the other one. So if I ever have anybody at my house, I can actually do the whole. We can have like a podcast thing where I can have people on.
Oh, you can do con.
Yeah. I have two mics. I have everything set
Oh,
up so that we can just do it.
uh, I'm sorry. It's CoonCon. My bad.
I'm not gonna do KumCon. I'm not doing KumCon at all. Uh, I'm not even like going to like. I'm not gonna participate in any open panels that he has anymore.
You're not.
No, I'm done.
What? Oh no.
Like I'm done with that. I can still go into his channel if he has anything planned that he wants to collaborate with me or any discussions that he wants to have. But I'm not doing anymore any open panels.
He had Ryan on there today. Ugh.
Yeah, that's I was there. Ryan came up. I left because I'm not talking to Ryan ever. I already had my comes and goes with him. I already had enough interactions with him. I don't need to have more.
Gotcha.
And the reason why is because he will say that's not true. He comes up and he says it's not true. But my whole point about why I'm not going to interact with him is he literally called me a fascist, which is a literal way after the kill after the deletion of Charlie Kirk, which was correlated directly to the fact that they think he was a fascist. So
Correct.
and he's like,
Yeah,
no,
he was
I
calling
don't
everybody a fascist.
I
That's what
don't
he was
mean
doing.
I don't mean that people should have any kind of violence. What do you think should happen to fascists? Should they be in power? Should they be? Oh, and then he all he does is like, well, you say that's bad, but if Donald Trump is like, who the fuck cares? If you think Donald Trump is doing this bad, and you do the same thing, then what does that make you? But yeah, I'm not gonna go there. Like I'm not taking it against Confluence. Like it's not against him. He can do whatever he wants. As I hope he's perfectly he does well with his channel. He gets everybody who he wants. He makes a lot of money. I'm just not gonna be part of any panels because I don't
Gotcha.
want to deal with Ryan, so I don't have to. It's fine. I can do my own shit.
Beautiful.
Of the strange research to come out of mid-1900s America, there is little with a legacy as enduring or as terrifying as the mouse utopia experiments. Taking place throughout the 50s, 60s, and early 70s, the grim fate of the subjects was published in the national magazine Scientific American, and the experiments themselves were largely taken as apocalyptic portents. In a post-war United States, the language used to describe the results such as behavior sync became synonymous with fears of an overpopulated world and violent, deviant behavior in cities. Today, they are preserved within fiction such as Channel 4's conspiracy thriller Utopia and the classic animated movie The Secret of Nim. Our world began changing. So what were the Mouse Utopia experiments?
So the whole point of the experiments was to create like this utopia for for the mice, so that they would like live like perfect lives, and they want to know what happens if that is accomplished. And the idea was to try to point it out towards like men, I guess. So that was the whole point.
Shortly after World War II, a group known collectively as the Environmentalists were making a large push to prevent environmental degradation, as well as overexploitation of the planet's renewable resources. Among these people were a group specifically known as the Neo-Malthusians, a term referring to the 18th and 19th century English scholar Thomas Robert Malthus. Malthus proposed that while the world's population may increase exponentially, food production can only increase linearly, leading to an eventual subsistence-level existence for the human race that became known as a Malthusian catastrophe. While advancements such as the Green Revolution...
Oh, by the way, this never happened. So the whole problem they were having was with nitrogen, and this is actually a thing that happened during Second World War. In between the world wars, there is this
The
German.
Desert Bowl. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. There's this German scientist that. Wait, no. It was before World War One. There's this German scientist that was. I think he got a Nobel Prize because he was able to synthesize nitrogen for the plants, and without him and his contribution, we wouldn't be having the amount of production in food that we have right now. There were wars fought over small islands where birds were like shitting all over the place because that specific thing was used to produce as agriculture. So yeah, this is like this is a true thing that happened before, and if it wasn't for that German scientist that people don't like because he was German, he yeah, people population would be a lot less because there wouldn't be as much waste of producing food. I don't remember his name. Uh, Give me a second. I'll try to find it.
Solution
The Haber-Bosch process. This was so I think it's Bosch. I think his last name was Bosch. But the point was that they needed to do that in order to be able to produce as much as we produce now, and it was done by a German scientist.
that this didn't come about, the Neo-Malthusians acknowledged his concerns about overpopulation and feared that this pattern would result in the collapse of civilization or, at best, have extreme adverse effects. These fears were given a platform in writing of the time, especially in works such as William Vogt's Road to Survival in 1948, and perhaps most famously, Silent Spring by Rachel Carson in 1962. Before the movement's
Whoa! What did you see that? K2?
I did not. I am driving, sir.
Oh, it says that Rachel Carson wrote a book in the 60s. Can you believe that? I thought they can only be in the
No.
kitchen.
That's what I. Oh my.
Oh my god.
Fake news. It wasn't a woman.
Rachel was a guy.
Rachel was a guy. It was a guy's name back then.
His Rachel is the last name. Carson was the first name.
That's right.
explosion of popularity in the 50s and 60s, however, researchers had already begun work investigating the effects of population growth, and among them was a man named John B. Calhoun. Born in 1917,
John B.
took an early
Calhoun.
interest in science, specifically ornithology, publishing his first paper on birds when he was 15, but over time, his interest would change. By the time he received his PhD, his focus had turned to ethology, the study of animal behavior. When his education was concluded, he moved with his family to Towson, Maryland, to begin research at Johns Hopkins University in nearby Baltimore, but the research itself would be conducted much closer to home. In 1947, shortly after he arrived, he approached his neighbor about using some of their neglected property for an experiment. The scope would be massive, and according to Calhoun, his neighbor probably didn't expect such a scale when they agreed to let him use the forested area. Taking over a quarter of an acre, Calhoun constructed a massive habitat, complete with food, water, ample shelter, and protection from predators, with the only limiting condition being their restriction to the quarter-acre living space. He affectionately provided his enclosure a name, Rat City. Unfortunately, no publicly available images of Rat City exist. Calhoun was very familiar with Norway rats, having performed research on them for his doctorate, and he estimated that Rat City could sustain approximately 5,000 individuals, though if they reached this number, the population density would be tight. He began by placing 5 pregnant females in the enclosure, providing ample genetic diversity, and soon the population was increasing exponentially. But then something surprising happened. Rather than the population increasing to fill the space of the enclosure, it quickly leveled off at 150 members. He also noted some behavioral peculiarities. Despite the large size of Rat City, the residents seemed to gather around just a few places, forming social groups of 12 and limiting themselves to specific feeding locations. He would conclude the experiment after 2 years and 4 months, during which the population never grew over 200. Careful observation revealed the cause: high infant mortality. For some reason, as the experiment progressed and the population increased, the mothers were not caring for their young properly, leading to most of them dying before reaching maturity. Calhoun had his theories as to why this was, but to prove them, he would need more data.
Yeah, so this is very, by the way, that was like a very common thing when it comes to his experiments. The mothers would stop caring for the kids a lot.
Sounds very familiar.
It does, right? Oh man.
In 1954, about 5 years after his initial experiment concluded, he was hired by the National Institute of Mental Health, often shortened to NIM. Within the laboratory of psychology, Calhoun was given ample resources to continue his work. With a team, he began feverishly designing and constructing habitats, sometimes referred to as universes, where he performed numerous smaller-scale and more controlled versions of his original rat study on a domesticated strain of albino Norway rat. These rats would want for nothing. All physical needs for a healthy rat lifestyle would be provided for them, including food, water, climate control, and nesting material. Calhoun spent 8 years perfecting his enclosures and methods until finally, in February of 1962, an article of his writing was published in the magazine Scientific American. The article was entitled Population Density and Social Pathology. His opening paragraph ominously reads so, quote, "In the celebrated thesis of Thomas Malthus, vice and misery impose the ultimate natural limit on the growth of populations. Students of the subject have given most of their attention to misery, that is, to predation, disease, and food supply as forces that operate to adjust the size of a population to its environment. But what of vice? Setting aside the moral burden of this word, what are the effects of the social behavior of a species on population growth, and of population density on social behavior?" Unquote. To answer this question, he cited 6 of his experiments in particular, all with similar composition and concerningly similar results. The design of these habitats was simple. The layout was a rectangle measuring 10 feet by 14 feet, divided into 4 equal sections by electric fences. 3 of these fences sported bridges over which the rats could climb, while one fence lacked such a bridge, essentially creating one long space that wrapped in on itself. Each section was equipped similarly, with a food hopper, water, and nesting areas accessible by spiral staircases. But Calhoun, leveraging his experience with the rats, made special changes to encourage specific behaviors. He enticed the rats to use one of the center pens by making the spiral staircase to that pen's living spaces shorter than the others, though he admits this was a comparatively small factor. But the more insidious change was to their food supply. In half of the experiments, Calhoun supplied powdered food, but in the other half he placed feeders of his own design, consisting of hard pellets behind a wire mesh. Half of his experiments began with 32 mice, the other half with 56, of evenly male and female composition, and all having just reached maturity. Calhoun estimated that approximately 40 rats could comfortably be housed in these enclosures, but he would allow these populations to increase to 80 before he would cull them. Almost immediately after introduction, things began to go awry. The females, unsurprisingly, spread themselves out somewhat evenly through the pens, but after the males jockeyed for dominance and those of highest rank were determined, they began to distribute themselves strangely. Less dominant male rats will typically awaken earlier and begin to wander and forage for food, and due to the design of the pen, this meant that they usually would end up in the center sections to eat. During this time, the dominant males of the outer pens would wake up and begin guarding their respective territories. Since there was only one entrance ramp to either end, the dominant males of either pen would bar the return of the less dominant males, forcing the male population to clump in the center pens, while the dominant end males protected what came to be their harems. Only a few other deferential males were allowed to remain. These few remaining males began exhibiting odd behavior, though
That's kind of interesting. Like the whole dominant males and the way that they are being pushed around. It's also interesting the way that he set up the experiment. But this is something that's actually pretty prevalent right now, I think, within Red Pill. The whole idea is that there is these super prevalent, super amazing uh men that are capable of doing but like pretty much capable of having any girl they want, right?
Yep.
And yeah, we'll let's continue watching it.
They would spend most of their time in the burrows with the females, hiding away from the dominant male. They would never attempt to mate with any of them. Instead, perplexingly, they would try to mate with the dominant male, and even more perplexing, the dominant male would not fight these attempts. At the same time as this was happening, the effect of Calhoun's special feeders was taking hold. Since procuring food was such a lengthy process at the hard food feeders, it was common for one rat to join another while in the process of feeding. By this method, the rats slowly became conditioned to eating in the company of other rats until, eventually, the rats would refuse to eat unless another rat was present. Since more rats tended to be in the center pens, this behavior meant that, over time, more and more rats made their way there, further condensing them. This heightened the proximity of an already cramped population. In the experiments with the powdered food, this effect was far less pronounced. With these factors combined, Calhoun noted what he called a behavioral sink, or an increase in pathological activity in the rats due to the stress involved in such high population density. For the females, the behavioral sink manifested in reduced capacity for nest building and young rearing. Infant rats are extremely dependent upon their mothers for nearly all things. However, under the effects of the behavioral sink, the mothers would often be interrupted in their nest building practices to engage in some other social activity. As time wore on, this led to sparser nests which could not house the young properly. If a mother decided to move her litter, she often would only move some of them or scatter them about the pen in separate locations. What's more, when female rats are ready to mate, the males can sense it, and the enclosed space meant that a female could not escape the continuous advances of the males during these periods. Even when they would enter their nests for a reprieve, they would be followed in and harrowed. These factors together resulted in an extremely high infant mortality rate, in one case reaching 96%. For the males, this manifested in different ways. The dominant males would occasionally lash out in violence against the other members of the pen, including infants, often biting and wounding their tails. Among the lower class males were three groups. The first he described as the homosexuals, which he immediately corrects as pansexuals, who would not compete for status but would often attempt to mate with any other rat, regardless of gender or age. Much like in the end pens, these advances went unchallenged. The second group he described as somnambulists, who moved slowly through the pen without interacting with other individuals in any fashion, and the other rats, in turn, ignored them except in rare circumstances. These rats, externally, he described as fat, sleek, and healthy looking. But to him, the strangest group was the third, which he named the probers. These rats were hyperactive, hypersexual, and pansexual. Despite violence from the dominant males, they would viciously pursue females in heat, eschewing any sort of courtship ritual and following them into their burrows to mate. Later on in the experiments, they would often find the corpses of the improperly cared for young, which they would cannibalize. In time, one of Calhoun's assistants would publicly describe these pens as hell. At this point, Calhoun ended the experiments, but he predicted that these pathological changes would have eventually led to the deaths of the colonies. At their conclusion, he would take the 4 healthiest males and females and allow them to breed, but their behavior had been so inexorably altered that none of their pups survived beyond weaning.
That's so weird.
Damn.
Yeah, he's like provided everything, and then what happened was the freaking rats pretty much became
Homosexuals.
became homosexual, pansexual. The fucking that's like probably the weirdest thing.
This short article enraptured its US audience, and the effects on both the scientific world and popular culture were immediate. People began to relate Calhoun's rat experiments to modern city life, and in an era where fear of social deviance was reaching an extreme high, it was largely seen as a reflection of the current time and where society could be heading, egged on by Calhoun's provocative language and allegorical design of his test environment, made to look like a city. Population density quickly became a common topic. Psychologist Carl Rogers, in his work Some Social Issues Which Concern Me, stated that, quote, "The resemblance to human behavior is frightening. In humans, we see poor family relationships, the lack of caring, the complete alienation, the magnetic attraction of overcrowding, the lack of involvement which is so great that it permits people to watch a long, drawn-out murder without so much as calling the police. Perhaps all city dwellers are inhabitants of a behavioral sink." Unquote. Soon after, studies of dense urban environments were conducted to see if these effects translated directly to humans, but what they found was inconclusive and unsatisfying. Despite the suggestions of Calhoun's rats, humans in cities reacted differently or sometimes opposite the manner that researchers expected, depending on the location. No matter how they tried, no evidence of a widespread behavioral sink could be found in urban areas. But this did not dissuade Calhoun. Even as others explored the problem of overcrowding, Calhoun frantically continued his research. Now a celebrated success and emboldened by the public acceptance of his ideas, he resumed his work at NIM on an even larger scale, though again away from the public eye. He spent his time on new subjects as he continued to perfect his enclosures and experiments until finally, after 11 years, Calhoun revealed his magnum opus through an article he entitled Death Squared, which was published in the journal Proceedings of the Royal Society of Medicine in January of 1973. The lengthy opening to this article was undeniably apocalyptic. Calhoun wrote, "I shall largely speak of mice, but my thoughts are on man, on healing, on life and its evolution. Threatening life and evolution are the two deaths, death of the spirit and death of the body. Evolution, in terms of ancient wisdom, is the acquisition of access to the tree of life." Unquote.
Oh, that's right. This is not the main experiment. There is another one that he made. So this is like things I didn't remember. He made a lot of small experiments and then he made a bigger experiment. That's right. Have you ever heard of these, K2?
Yes, I heard all the mice became homosexuals.
No. No, but in true, like, have you ever heard of this experiment?
No. I was being serious, yeah.
Okay.
He goes on to heavily reference Revelations and of the riders of the apocalypse, using them to proclaim that the Hippocratic Oath applies not only to the body, but to the spirit. After this dramatic introduction, he described his test. For the most part, these new experiments were similar to his 1963 trials, including unlimited access to food and water, protection from the elements and predators, and safeguards against disease. Many parts, however, were drastically altered. As Calhoun mentions in his introduction, the Norway rats used in his first publicized experiments were replaced with albino house mice, which were taken from a breeding group from the National Institutes of Health made specifically to prevent communicable disease. To fit his new subjects, Calhoun had designed an entirely new enclosure. This version was much more vertical, with 16 wall-mounted housing areas for the rats at the tops of long metal tubes, which Calhoun called walk-up apartments. At the bottom of each apartment was a virtually unlimited supply of food, water, and nesting material. With the space provided, Calhoun estimated that it could potentially hold 3,840 mice. He named this enclosure Universe 25. Calhoun's methods also had changed. Rather than instituting population controls, he would interfere far less. His plan was to place 8 mice in the enclosure, 4 male and 4 female, and simply watch and wait. Calhoun observed 4 distinct phases in the ensuing experiment. Phase A was predictable, constituting the time period before the first new mice were born, which ended up being 104 days. For the mice, these days were, quote, marked by considerable social turmoil. After the social order was established and the first brood was born, the population began Phase B, which Calhoun named the exploitation phase. During this time, the mice doubled in number every 55 days as new young grew to maturity and had their own young. This doubling continued until day 315, after which the doubling rate slowed to a rate of 145 days, nearly 3 times as long. By this point, the different broods had clumped into one side of the pen, exhibiting the same sort of clumping as the Norway rats, but this time without any coaxing from Calhoun's designs. This change in the rate of procreation marked Phase C, which Calhoun labeled as the stagnation phase. This is when the most notable events occurred, and they eerily mirrored Calhoun's rat experiments. In a natural setting, those mice which find no social niche will leave the colony, but in this experiment, emigration was impossible, and so those forced to remain withdrew from society. These dejected males formed a large pool in the center of the enclosure. They quickly became characterized by both their inactivity and their many scars and wounds. Occasionally, they would grow agitated and attack one another, and with nowhere to retreat, the recipient of these attacks would simply lay still and endure the assault. The outcast females, rather than joining them, would retreat to the highest apartments and live quietly among one another. It was during this time that the behavioral sink manifested, with mice gathering around specific food hoppers in large numbers, while others remained almost entirely untouched, showing how, again, the need for social interaction had become so intertwined with the need for food that the former had overtaken the latter. The males who had won the initial fights also were placed under extreme stress. As more and more mice reached maturity from within and without, the leaders of the social groups continually had to patrol and defend their territory. Eventually, they reached the point of exhaustion and could not defend the females within their group. These females were therefore forced to defend the nest themselves, even when nursing their young, leading to generalized aggressive behavior. This aggression would inevitably be misdirected onto their young, who would be wounded by their mothers and forced to leave the nest before they were finished weaning. Much like the rats, the mother mice would also forget some of their young when moving from one nesting site to another. Due to the added stress of defending their territory, sometimes the mothers would reabsorb unborn mice in the womb, further reducing the fertility rates. Calhoun writes, "For all practical purposes, there had been a death of societal organization by the end of Phase C. Finally, there was Phase D, which Calhoun entitled the Death Phase. This phase was characterized largely by an entire generation of young who had been rejected by their mothers early and forced to leave the nest, and they were therefore unable to exhibit normal social behavior. This manifested in numerous ways. The females of this generation had far fewer children, and those that did have children lacked the maternal instincts necessary to raise them beyond weaning." Calhoun goes on to describe the males of this generation. Quote, "Male counterparts to these non-reproducing females were soon dubbed the beautiful ones. They never engaged in sexual approaches toward females, and they never engaged in fighting, and so they had no wound or scar tissue. Thus, their pelage remained in excellent condition. Their behavioral repertoire became largely confined to eating, drinking, sleeping, and grooming, none of which carried any social implications beyond that represented by contiguity of bodies." Unquote. As the last mice with reproductive instincts aged beyond their fertility, Calhoun declared that the last male would die around day 1780 of the experiment, effectively rendering the colony dead as it would be unable to produce any more young. His present tense language implied that, when the article was published, the colony was still technically alive, though its final fate was practically sealed. Calhoun closed his article with a call to action. "For an animal so complex as man, there is no logical reason why a comparable sequence of events should not also lead to species extinction. If opportunities for role fulfillment fall far short of the demand by those capable of filling roles and having expectancies to do so, only violence and disruption of social organization can follow. Individuals born under these circumstances will be so out of touch with reality as to be incapable even of alienation. Their most complex behaviors will become fragmented. Acquisition, creation, and utilization of ideas appropriate for life in a post-industrial, cultural, conceptual, technological society will have been blocked. Just as biological generativity in the mouse involves this species' most complex behaviors, so does ideational generativity for man. Loss of these respective complex behaviors means death of the species."
Damn.
Yeah, that guy was...
But even as Calhoun was
Sounds
performing his research on
familiar.
mice, others had been at work applying his theories to humans. By this point, researchers had moved to more specific locations of overcrowding rather than the generalized location of cities, testing the effects on students in dormitories and patients at hospitals, but the most fruitful example they discovered was in prisons. Paul Paulus from the University of Texas wrote that prisons were the perfect place for this sort of study, describing the social interaction between inmates as intense, prolonged, inescapable, and realistic.
There's a big problem there. The only big problem is sexual interaction, because as far as I'm concerned, prisons are not mixed, but okay.
The prison in the study also offered the closest analog to Calhoun's rat experiments, since the prisoners could not escape the company of others, even in their communal cells. There, they found connections between over-socialization and suicide, violence, psychopathy, and stress. After such studies, environmental psychologists began to discover the problem. They identified two different kinds of density: physical density and social density. Physical density was the amount of space per person, while social density was the number of individuals occupying a space. They found that social density was the much more important factor, as individuals in high social density were unable to control their interactions with others. Based on this research, human environments could be designed to at least partially mitigate these issues, allowing those living within them the privacy they needed to maintain healthy social interaction. Outside of scientific discourse, Calhoun's rhetoric has maintained its strength through the years, with different groups of all political persuasions bending his results to support their views on social degradation, however they may define it. Among more scholarly sources, Calhoun has been both lauded and criticized for his work. Those who support him cite his forward thinking about overpopulation, while those who deride him cite his misrepresentation of the actual social problems within cities, guiding discourse away from the true causes of societal discord. But no matter what those in the modern day think of his research, his influence on the way America views its cities is undeniable.
So, so yeah.
Sounds like the world we're kind of living in right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Women are killing their babies. I'm sorry, deleting their babies right now.
Huh.
20. They said 20%, 23% of Gen Z was aborted, or something like that.
Yeah, about 23%. And then about right now, it's about 25% of all women have had at least one, I think. 20, 23, 25. I think it's more in the younger generation, but I'm not entirely sure. I could probably check it. Um, let's see. Yeah, about 28% of 20. Oh crap! Jesus. From 20 to 29 is about 28%, and from 30 to 39 is about 31%. It's insane, dude. It's an insane number.
Ryan's right. We need more abortions. Emmett.
Did you see me rage quit today?
I did not. I joined after, and then they were fucking nonstop talking. I couldn't get a word out, and then I was kicked because I couldn't get a word in.
You were kicked because you couldn't get a word in?
Yeah, he said I was too quiet for too long.
What the fuck with that guy? Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm annoyed. I'm really mad at
Well, to be fair, something Weeble was trying to get up too.
Yeah,
But he's
yeah.
like, oh, you're not talking that much, so.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes absolute. Yeah, that makes sense. That
I
makes
kind of,
sense to me.
and then they got on Russia, and then I'm like, oh, George Soros, after the Soviet Union fell, sabotaged Russia's economy when they were trying to be our friends because they did try to join NATO, yada yada yada. But I'm like, they did that purposely so they would hate us, and we would always have an enemy for the weapons industrial complex, yada yada yada. I won't go into all what I said. I don't want to spurg.
Well, you know what is like my big problem when it comes to all of these? The big problem that I have mostly is uh I really dislike Ryan. That's the big problem. Not a
I know
problem with
he's like,
debating him. Like he's wrong, and I don't really need to. But I'm not gonna debate anybody that calls me a so like
F word.
a fascist.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
because he's like, Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. We need to support Ukraine, and I'm like, no. Well, in the chat, I'm like, no.
first off, if anybody wants to support Ukraine and should be supporting Ukraine, if they really want to, it should be the Europe, and Europe has to pay for that. I'm done with this kind
Yeah.
of bullshit. You have
And
your
you
own
know what?
shit, go and deal with it.
If Ryan really wants Ukraine to survive, he could always get a rifle and go over there. Just saying.
Yeah, he's not going to. He's too much of a pussy.
I know.
Like I will say this. I don't think it's a good endeavor. The front is actually collapsing. Have you seen the front line?
Yeah, they got encounter. One of their big units got surrounded, and they left wounded people there and whatever.
What is the name of these?
It's literally like what happened to the Eighth Army.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much what happened to them. Mr. says we spent 500 billion in Ukraine. That's 3 times the pace for 20 years in Afghanistan. $1 trillion since the Afghan paper. Yeah,
And Indian Jesus and the other guys went way into it, like with Hunter Biden. Yada yada yada. I said that's why Russia hates us with George Soros, and then I said a certain group of people are buying up land in there and kicking Christians out, and they're stopping the practice of Orthodox Church over there for whatever reason. That's
now
the information I got.
they've been doing a bunch of shit, let's be honest. Like
Hmm.
yeah, no, I'm not fond of
We
whatever
don't
the fuck they're
we
doing.
don't have to we don't have to get into it because I'm derailing. I just wanted to tell you what Ryan was
No, I'm
talking
gonna go
about.
ahead and show the I follow this guy. He's something legends. He does a lot of the frontline. What's his name though? I don't remember. And then I probably watch a little bit of um. Oh, this is not. Alright, here it is. History Legends. That's his name.
My friends, it's official. Mirnorhad is now fully encircled.
So Milnerhad is the city. They had a cauldron, pretty much. This part of this road right here was still contested. They still have like a full battalion here, and they helped some people on to the south, but they got encircled, so they've been going back into Mirnorhad. I have no idea what exactly is gonna happen, but it's not. It doesn't look good.
What a disaster! One that could have been completely prevented. This is the first complete encirclement of a Ukrainian city since the Battle of Mariupol. And you know what? I looked through Ukrainian media to learn more about what's going on, and it seems they're in complete denial. You know what? Even the Institute of the Study of War cannot cope anymore. Sky News even reported fierce battle for frontline towns where Ukraine soldiers are surrounded. The reason I'm saying this is a military disaster is that some reports claim that up to 2,000 Ukrainian soldiers are now trapped in Mirnorad. Do you understand? This is free XP for the Russians. This is what Mirnorad looks like at the moment. This is where hundreds upon hundreds of Ukrainian troops are hiding in scattered basements or amid the ruins of this shattered town. Remember the nightmare scenario I told you about? Well, this is now. I seriously don't understand why the general staff of the AFU willingly sacrificed an entire brigade worth of troops.
So he was talking about this like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. And what he was saying that's that they were going to get encircled, and he was pretty much stating that they might have the need to pull out the troops out of Mirnorad because they were being encircled. So
Just don't get it. Blad, stop whining. That's only 4 days of mobilization. I'll just tell the white vans to catch more guys on Monday.
Слава Україні!
But I think there's one rational reason that could explain why Ukraine is doing this, but we'll cover that at the end of the video. In the meantime, Ukraine urgently needs something that could regenerate its military. Dump this brown powder in your coffee and become 27 since
nobody cares.
and even part for Dutch. Still live right now in the description. All unfolding in Mirnorad. Alright, to fully understand the current situation, we have to take a step back. This was the frontline situation when we last left off on the 14th of November, despite the cope by the mainstream media.
So this was Pokrovsk. This is another city. It got captured like 2 weeks ago. And this is Milnorad. And this is the southern place where I told you there were some troops from the Ukrainian army. Right over here is the other side of the front. So it was a cauldron, pretty much, right?
Pokrovsk was fully under Russian control. That's also when Russian drone pilots were completing the mop-up of the last enemy pockets on the outskirts of the town. Remained only this 2-kilometer gap before Mirnorad was officially encircled. In theory, there was only this road between Mirnorad and Hryshine that acted as the lifeline for the Mirnorad garrison. In reality, that road had been under fire control of the enemy for many weeks now. Here we can see a Russian fiber optics drone flying over these fields, and it recorded a total of 50 Ukrainian vehicles destroyed or abandoned. Oh, you thought it was done? This other supply road across the countryside also got hammered hard. In this Russian drone footage, we can count 27 Ukrainian vehicles kaput. So just on these 2 axes alone, we can count 77 Ukrainian vehicles left behind. And many Russian analysts believe the army is in no rush in closing this cauldron. They're forcing Ukraine to sacrifice more and more units to hold this hopeless position. The Russians don't have to do anything, they just sit there and camp, and their kill streak is just rising. 24 hours later, Ukrainian forces abandoned all their positions at the very bottom of the cauldron. All their units were now slowly folding back towards Mirnorad. Yet, what I found strange is how by the 16th of November, Ukrainian journalists Yuri Butusov and Tyaplenko completely stopped mentioning Mirnorad in their reports. This is part of the complete denial of Ukrainian society that I told you about in the introduction, as if everything was okay. Blah, nope, everything is fine. In reality, Russian forces started pushing out of Pokrovsk.
So for what I've seen, and I've seen this for a while now, and I think, what's his name? Dylan? Do you know who Dylan is?
No.
It's not Mulvaney, obviously. Dylan Burns. Dylan Burns. Have you heard of him?
No.
Oh, Dylan Burns is a weird kind of guy, and he's gone to Ukraine, and he's been like pretty much in the front lines, and he said that the front lines right now are in places where they don't have like the most amount of defenses, that the defenses are behind that, but it kind of feels it doesn't feel really good.
I mean, I get why they're doing that. That all the defense is behind the foxholes because of drones, so they all think they're all scattered, and then all the defense is behind it. So when they attack, they think it's that. Boom. I kind of get it. Why you would do that? I could be wrong though.
So it says, in my observation research, I found out why Dems hate Russia so much, and so Russia is the top 3 Christian country, which means the white man bad narrative is actually about the Christian mad bad narrative. They fear the 2 largest Christian countries in alliance, which I agree with that at all. I agree with that. Charlie King, good to see you. Hope you're having a great Saturday now. And hello, Kat. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Que pasta. And without the T is like que pasa, which is like hello too. Hello, Kat. Welcome. We're just watching some. We watched an interesting video about a rat experiment, and now you're just.
I derailed.
And now we're just talking about Ukraine.
We know this because Ukrainian drones started targeting enemy infantry units right here on the map. However, it was actually much worse than that, because some Russian patrols were suddenly spotted 2.5 kilometers beyond Pokrovsk. This means this supply road was now being physically cut off. This Russian push northwards continued for the next 48 hours.
Desk naps are great, especially if you feel a little bit tired.
Drone operators of Ukraine's 35th Marine Brigade kept
Hope you're rested.
launching one FPV drone after another in an attempt to stop this tidal wave. But then came another crisis for our beloved Ukrainskaya Armia. Russian units were now breaking out from the northeastern corner of Pokrovsk through the settlement of Rivne towards Mirnohrad. In response, Ukrainian aviation carried an airstrike and destroyed this 2-story building. Yes, this definitely completely halted the Russian offensive. Yeah. We don't even know if the
It's like a lot of people say that this guy is like pro Russia. He has had like some people from the Russia side on, but I never seen him like being pro Russia. He's just like telling.
He's just telling the facts.
He's just telling the facts on the ground when it comes to the front line, and like talking about what happened. It's not like saying, "Oh yeah, there was no attack by an F-16 or something like that." He's just talking about it.
building was actually occupied by Russian troops at the time of the airstrike. You know it's bad when even David Axe is questioning what's happening. On his new blog, he wrote, Ukrainian airstrikes may only delay the inevitable. By the 20th of November, Russian elements of the 2nd Command Army started settling in Pokrovsk. In this
We didn't hear much about Ukraine for a few months, but now the New Year budget bill is in January, so we knows how this goes. I hope that they people get so mad at the fact that the idea of the government shutdown. I just want to shut the fuck down, dude. I just want the government so shut down that nobody gets anything from the government. It would be better. Like it would be better for everybody if that happens. I don't want any fucking money going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm tired of funding Ukraine. It's obviously a losing battle. It's just going to become Russia's peninsula soon. It's going to be part of Russia.
Yeah.
Maybe Zelensky should have took that deal that Trump made.
What are you all doing? Oh, it's Cat's asking if it's snowing.
No, not yet. I think it's supposed to start around here, around 10 p. or 10 a.m.
Shut her down. Yeah.
first
I didn't
person
mean to
shooter
derail.
perspective, we see
You're not
sections of
derailing. This is
Kharkiv
okay.
marked
This is
on
fine.
what's left of the high-rise district south of the town. The benefit of such urban areas is that you can house a large number of troops.
This is actually pretty cool.
Wait a minute. It's at 3 a.m. Oh shit! It's gonna be starting soon. Sunday at 10 a.m. Oh shit.
I don't think I have any snow planned for this area. I can probably check.
We're getting lake effects. Because we got massive inland seas here.
Oh wait, maybe Sunday. Maybe Sunday I'll have some snow. Yeah, maybe Sunday.
Then Emmett can make a Mexican snowman. Get the sombrero, the poncho.
I'll do that on stream.
No, hold on, Emmett. If you want to see that, you got to pay for that. Send Emmett $50.
Send them in $50.
$50.
If I get $50, I'll do a full-on stream about making a Mexican snowman with full-on sombrero and everything. Yeah. It's she's asking you to be safe on the roads.
I will do that, Cat. Thank you.
And then we have Mr. say, "Do you want to build a snowman?" Is that I gave him that's really shut up. You didn't. You know what? It's false allegations, and besides being false allegations, it's AI. It was pure AI.
But also camouflage all your vehicles in warehouses, garages. In this Ukrainian footage, we see an FPV drone strike against a Russian tank camouflaged in between some trees. What's interesting is how the Ukrainians explained how the strike involved two FPV drones guided by a bomber drone and a reconnaissance drone. That's 4 UAVs, and unlike what we could think, FPV drones don't fly at random. They're actually one-way weapons, so they need to be guided straight to their target. And what's interesting is that we learned that these bomber drones play a dual purpose. They can strike enemy forces, but they can also provide reconnaissance. What's more, this drone strike took...
Yeah, that's AI. Okay, that's pure AI. Elder took in a peek? No, he didn't take a peek. Okay, it's AI. You got one more day, Emmett. Enjoy it while you can. Oh, from Cope from Cope month. Yeah, Cope month is okay. I'm trying to feel better. Okay, next month is gonna peak up. We have Cecil Cecil Love Outage. It's gonna be on Wednesday, next Wednesday. Which, by the way,
we're gonna get Cecil to do those invasions where he acts like a hippie.
I don't think whenever he wants to, but if he doesn't want to, it's fine too. Like, he explained to me why he didn't want to do it, and I thought it was an okay idea. This is the miniature for Cecil. It's very similar to the other one. I thought it was pretty cool, so I want to show it. We always go next year. What's the love outed? So I go through. Love Outed is it's based on Caleb Hammer financial audit, and what I'm gonna be doing. The idea of it is like we go through like the love life and probably the goals, and then we can go into what kind of things a person can do so they can find a goal and find a person that they want. And it obviously depends on what kind of things you want to do, and it's just like go through the idea of the love life of the person. It depends. So that is the point. There's one already. This one is for Confluence. I thought it was pretty good. The content was actually pretty fine. People seem to enjoy it. It went like, instead of losing people, I gained more and more and more people. It was kind of interesting because at the end of the episode I was like at 26, 27 people, and when it ended it went back down. So I think people really enjoyed it.
place only 700 meters away from where the video of the
Oh,
Russians
you
walking
fuck.
around the high-rise district was recorded. And check this out, sometime later, it's drones from Ukraine's 68th Yega Brigade that found another Russian armored vehicle north of Pokrovsk. This confirms what I told you in my previous video. The Russian army is turning Pokrovsk into a logistics hub for the next offensive. Right now, they're just concentrating the forces. And notice how we didn't see any videos of Russian tanks or BMPs driving into Pokrovsk. This is pure maskerovka. So we were provided with this video of this Russian convoy driving through the fog, motorcycles, Soviet-era vehicles, jeeps. But in reality, at the same time, you had entire columns of armored vehicles that got into the city. And once again, no footage of all this. So we can only guess as to how many armored vehicles are in Pokrovsk right now. You know what? With such clues, it's not crazy to think that we could expect a mechanized assault in the near future, perhaps against Hryshine or even to flank Rodinske. But then came another disaster. Russian storm detachments broke through along this tree line, advanced 1,000 meters towards Mirnorad, and took position inside these warehouses. This is bad. This is really bad. Remember what I told you in my last video. As you can observe, if Russian forces secure this area, it's GG. Well played.
I think you should join us, Cat, to play Peak.
And I think Ukraine tried bringing Poland into it by shooting a missile to Poland. I could be wrong, but I believe that did happen. Like Ukraine's doing some shady shit.
Oh yeah, that did happen, but it was a while ago, didn't it? Like there was
Yeah,
some.
yeah, that was a while.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
2 months ago.
They tried.
But
I think it was almost a year ago, maybe more.
no, it happened this year. I believe in the summer, ish, fall, like that time range. In the summer, fall, give or take.
I mean, you should then we should play together, Cat. We should play Peak.
It's over. Any idea of a Ukrainian withdrawal out of the Mirnorad pocket is gone. That was the strategic position to capture. And the tree line along this rail embankment leads directly into Mirnorad as well. And this also answers the question I had in the previous video. And number 3, order the garrison to stand its ground and fight until the end. Option 3 is literally what we're witnessing right now. Because as of now, no mass withdrawal has been reported, no large-scale relief attempt either. The Mirnorad garrison was essentially told to stand and fight. It's actually very similar to the German Festung doctrine of World War II, when Germany lost the initiative and had depleted the bulk of its mobile reserves. Strategically important cities were ordered to be held at all costs, often by low-quality second or third-rate troops that could be sacrificed and left behind. But like I told you, there's another reason that could explain all this, but it's gonna be at the end of the video. Oh yeah, there was this interesting video that was released on the 20th of November. On the eastern side of Mirnorad, 2 Russian soldiers were KIA by Ukraine machine gun fire. Not only that, reportedly it was troops from Ukraine's 3rd Battalion of the 38th Marine Brigade. So now we get more clues as to what Ukrainian units are defending this fortress city. Option 1, it's possible the AFU fortified Mirnorad stocked up on supplies with good marine units prepared to fight until the end, essentially the Battle of Mariupol. Option 2, the general staff of the AFU assessed it's not worth sacrificing elite assault units to rescue entire battalions of low-quality mobilized personnel. Might as well use them to slow down the Russians. And from the perspective of General Syrski, that's only 1 week of mobilization. You're not gonna endanger your entire front line to save them. Meanwhile, the remaining Ukrainian positions south of the city were getting fabbed into oblivion. But now you're quite familiar with my autistic side. But I did some digging and the airstrike targeted this area only a couple blocks away from where that large surrender of Ukrainian troops took place. This also means it's very possible this video is also a couple days old. Or it could mean that Russian troops actually struggled to push up along Soborna Street towards the city center. There was also that video from that same sector, where 3 Ukrainian soldiers surrendered after receiving leaflets. The next day, on the 21st of November, The Ukrainian command attempted to push through the Road of Death in order to reach Mirnorad. However, this area was completely blockaded and under fire control of the Russian elite Rubicon drone operators.
Fire all the drones now!
In this footage, we see a Ukrainian BVS-10 that was hit by first drone, then by second one, a third, and at last a fourth one. 24 hours later, according to Deep State UA, the entire eastern edge of Mirnorad had fallen into Russian hands. Meanwhile, Russia's 2nd Command Arms Army was also rapidly strengthening its positions inside Pokrovsk. That's when the armed forces of Ukraine used some of their long-range FP2 drones. These have a range of up to 200 kilometers and can carry between 100 and 105 kilograms of explosives. Those are like mini FAB glide bombs. We have to admit, Ukraine made some incredible achievements in drone warfare. On the 23rd, some Russian telegram posts mentioned that at night, servicemen of the 38th and 101st Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine surrendered. We already knew about the presence of Ukraine's 38th Marine Brigade in a cauldron, but the 151st? I don't know about that. Because when I check on this deployment map, the 101st Mechanized Brigade is deployed all the way north in Kupiansk. Unless we can find a way to cross-reference this information, it's most likely low-quality information and it's probably false. So naturally, we can question the second part of the post that says the units remaining in the encirclement are practically not offering resistance. Okay, but in that case, why is it taking so long? Anyway, by 6 p.m. on the 23rd of November, this is approximately what the Mirnorad pocket looked like. The bottom part of the cauldron shrunk once more, but it's to the north that we can see how the two Russian tips were almost touching. The Ukrainians fought very hard to prevent this from happening, but it seems that in the last few days, apart from small raids, the general staff of the AFU stopped counterattacking in this sector.
All hope is failing, my lord!
The next day, we learned interesting things from telegram posts published by Ukraine's 79th Air Assault Brigade. Talked today with the guys who are planning to go help in Mirnorad. They say the last few days have been a one-way trip. I mean, just a couple hours before that post, we got footage of another Ukrainian vehicle that got knocked out on the Road of Death. Any Ukrainian vehicle trying to push through that blockade is getting swarmed by enemy drones. And if by luck they manage to reach Mirnorad, there's no way they can get back. And then the post says that due to Russian airstrikes and artillery shelling, 2 companies have been lost in a week. Only a platoon had returned. It's a bit cryptic, but from my understanding, a fraction of the garrison managed to slip out of the encirclement. But for the others, apparently casualties are extremely high. And there's no way to evacuate all the wounded. Right after, in another post, the 79th reported, "This is effed up. Just spoke with brothers from the evacuation group. They're working on the Pokrovsk direction. Friendly fire, once again. 5 KIA, 4 wounded. But while there was confusion, the Russians already finished them off. Total -9 for the trip. Who will answer for this? Oh my. What a disaster. As you can see, it's total chaos. 9 fatalities for what? There's so many units involved that there's very little coordination and communication between them. Why should the Russians close off the encirclement? They're fighting the campaign on easy mode. They're just picking off the enemies like that, one after the other. And again, these posts come from Ukrainian sources. Let's be honest, the situation for the Mirnorad garrison is completely hopeless. With that being said, I was surprised to learn that this garrison still operated some armored vehicles. Maybe they're not that powerless after all. In this video posted by Rubicon, we see Russian drones swarm a Mada 1A3 infantry fighting vehicle. According to my research, Germany delivered about 140 Mada IFVs to Ukraine, and these are the 5 units that operated them as of 2025. The one that interests us is the 25th Airborne Brigade, which is indeed deployed in the Pokrovsk direction. If we put all the pieces of the puzzle together, we can guess that the Mirnorad garrison is composed of a patchwork of various units, of which a majority of elements of the 38th Marine Brigade, but also the 79th Air Assault Brigade and the 25th Airborne Brigade as well. On paper, these are all elite units with higher standards of selection, but it's hard to say these days. These brigades could very well be filled with mobilized personnel. On the 24th of November, Ska published another video of a raid of some of its units deep inside Pokrovsk. Just like in the previous days, Scala rifle teams advanced along these axes and regrouped at the city center. We know this because a three-man Ukrainian fire team was seen pushing past the Pokrovsk sign on the northwestern edge of the city. It's possible that Scala established a forward operating base somewhere in that sector. But again, we're talking about 6 to 10 soldiers. This is far from the big counterattack that many talked about on Twitter. To me, there's only two explanations. Number one, this video is multiple days old, and number two, Scala simply benefits from gaps in the Russian line, which allow them to launch these infiltration missions. But there's no real Ukrainian area of control in Pokrovsk. So to me, it looks like yet another PR stunt to delay as long as possible the news to the Ukrainian public that Pokrovsk has fallen. Because the very next day, Russian troops recorded this video from the center of Pokrovsk to show that Ukrainian troops were nowhere to be seen. By the 25th of November, Russian patrols of the 2nd Command Arms Army pushed north of Rivne.
My cat was upset, gave they drops, they all talking turns my lap. He fucks them up, but they get fleas and ticks if I don't. Poor fellas. Scratch so bad they get scraps and give them drops. But it fucks them up, makes them feel sick, I can tell. It's okay. It's better if you give them, even if it fucks them up a little bit, than if they get ticks and shit.
And linked up with friendly forces coming from Radinsky, all the daily mappers I talked to report that this intersection on the road of death is under Russian control. The two tips had touched. Mirnorad was now officially encircled. This is the first complete Russian encirclement since the Battle of Mariupol. Despite the hopeless situation, Ukraine's 38th Marine Brigade captured the Russian four-man sabotage group right at the center of Mirnorad. I mean, at this rate, it's only a matter of time before they get released. The original post by Ukraine's 7th Corps also declared some interesting things about this event. 3 of the detainees are former prisoners who were released from prison thanks to signing military contracts. According to the Russians, before the assault, they lived for 4 days in the basement of a building in a neighboring settlement. We could be looking at a refurbished Storm Z type of unit. The type of units the Russian command sees no problem in sacrificing. Of course, to pay their debt to the motherland. At the same time, the Russian 51st Army dropped leaflets calling to surrender in this area of Mirnorad, but also south of the town, close to where the big platoon surrendered. So from a tactical perspective, we can guess that pushing along this road is very difficult for the Russians. Now, the reality is that nobody really knows how many Ukrainian troops are still trapped in Mirnorad. Some sources claim up to 2,000. It's huge, but it could be possible. Remember, it's 2,500 Ukrainian soldiers that surrendered at Azovstal in Mariupol. So yeah, a garrison of 2,000 Ukrainian troops in Mirnorad could be legit. But then we don't know how many supplies they have left. So many questions. By the 26th of November, reports indicated that the entire eastern part of Mirnorad was now under Russian control.
They're using nets, yeah. They're using, I don't know if you've seen like that new tactics and stuff. They pretty much net around the roads. They try to protect the vehicles with like nets outside. It's fucking wild. Like the whole way that this war is being played out with the drone warfare is wild.
Including the very strategic high-rise district, and that at the same time, forward elements were already pushing from the tree line into the western part of town. Now in conclusion, some Russian analysts argue that Moscow is deliberately slowing down the final storming of Mirnorad in order to achieve two objectives. Number one, force Ukraine to keep pouring reserves into a hopeless defense, aka bleeding the AFU dry. And number two, create a large pocket or semi-encirclement that can later be used as a simple bargaining chip in a possible ceasefire or peace talks. They say this because this is more or less what happened during the Battle of Debaltseve in January and February 2015 during the Minsk II ceasefire agreement. Them bringing Debaltseve made me remember something very important. General Syrski was directly involved in this Battle of Debaltseve and the chaotic withdrawal that followed and that caused hundreds upon hundreds of casualties. It was a real turkey shoot. And for what? So maybe, just maybe, Syrski thought that since Ukrainian forces would suffer extremely high casualties during a mass withdrawal anyway, might as well order them to stand and fight. Because he remembers the Battle of Debaltseve. This could allow them to pin down the Russians in Mirnorad, so Ukraine gains more time to rebuild a new defensive line north of Pokrovsk. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Remember to check out Black Force supplements. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of my analysis. If you
It's a shit show. Whatever it is a shit show.
Not looking good.
It's not
Bye bye,
good.
Ukraine.
Yeah, whatever they do, it's really bad, and I think it's gonna get worse. Like I don't see I don't see any way out of the
They're
whole
just gonna
situation.
keep throwing men into the meat grinder.
Well, that's what they pretty much have done during this whole time. And I don't see I don't see a way out for them, to be honest. Like, what are you gonna do? What I don't even know what I would do. It's that bad.
Just surrender to the Russians at this point.
I'm confused. What does matter to Ukraine to not to be Russia? Well, they do have a different system, and they had a lot of money and interest going on to them from from both the U.S. and the European Union.
A lot of money laundering.
So any of those plays better off otherwise. I think it would be better off if they both, the Russians and the Ukrainians, get together. And that would be better for them. The other problem that they have is they didn't want it to be like a vassal state for Russia, but I think it's better if they are in a sense. And I don't want to have any kind of problem with like they don't want to have a direct border supposedly with a NATO state, even though they have a border with what is the Turkey. But the point is, especially Ukraine has been a very Russian-ish state for forever. Yeah, Canada should just me USA, nope. And same with Mexico, nope. We could unite, nope. Nope.
We're gonna take over Mexico. It's gonna be Operation Storming Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Operation Storm Taco Bell. It's gonna become a territory. We can't vote. And you're gonna have to kill like 30% of the Mexican.
The cartel. That's what we're aiming for.
He gets it. No, it's a territory. No voting rights. No voting. No more.
They're gonna be like the filthy Puerto Ricans.
Yep. Good of America. And then to the north is the same thing. They're gonna become a territory. We're gonna have like no voting rights. Fuck him.
God, we can't give Canadians the right to vote. They just like took away their own guns.
I had a big fight. Well, not a big fight because it wasn't a fight, but I had a big what is it called?
Discussion or
I had a
argument.
big argument today with what's his name with Flow State about that. Like we went through a little bit of crap. A little bit of crap. But the whole point that I was making is my point was that he would vote. He was talking about voting, and I was talking about the problems with the libertarians and Kuming. Like they don't care. What I said to him is, well, libertarians don't care about the economy. They say that they care, but they don't actually care, because they would go ahead and defend the rights of people that don't give a fuck about the rights of because they would prefer to pay more in taxes than to stop Kuming. That was pretty much my argument. And he was like, well, if these guys are
Right.
Kuming. Why we gotta
They
be?
gotta fight for the right to
Yeah,
kill.
pretty much. And he's like, you gotta stop pretending to be a lefty. And I'm like, why? I want to be the one. Like, if there's somebody is gonna be the one that's gonna be dictating who's gonna get banned, I want it to be me. Why would I give them? Why would I give it to them? I want to be the one that's shaming them. I want to be the one that's shaming them. I want to be the one that's banning them. I want to be the one who has all the power here. Why would I? Why would I? Why would I fucking give it up? They're not going to. Nope.
Libertarians are the worst. They act like they're right, but then they're secretly way left, in my view. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Let's do it. We fund them anyway. I don't think it's a good idea. Like Canada is a little bit better. You can go ahead get in. Deport all the fucking Indians, and you have pretty much the same. The not the same population, but pretty much the same ideas and idealisms and stuff. The one that I don't think you want is Mexico. Mexico is a shit show in a lot of fucking senses.
But if we conquer that, they will give up their thing of like make California Mexico. And if we do that, there'll be no more, no more. Because then we own the bitches.
Yeah, makes sense.
Storm Taco Bell.
Mm.
Call your Senate representatives. Call your representative. Rep. God damn it.
Call your representative.
Representatives. Call your representatives and demand Storm Taco Bell 2026.
Okay, makes sense. Our culture excuses the left for their horrible actions. That's just the way they are. F that noise every time we're in charge. It's always the same. Let's play nice, guys. Come on. Exactly. Right? But it comes from the libertarian position, because the libertarians are like, oh, we can't use power. It would be bad if we use power. We'll be just like them.
We'll be gay just like them.
The other thing is they tend to go with, I don't know if you heard from Javier Milei, which is the president of Argentina. They go with them, but they don't understand what the fuck they're talking, because he's been going way more towards the right than the opposite. And they're like, oh, you don't know what's going to happen when the left backfires. It's a, dude, they had 250% inflation rate. 250% inflation rate per year.
So we gave them like a loan, a currency exchange loan, where they gotta pay it back.
But I mean, with Javier Milei, they will. But if he doesn't do, if he's not doing what he's doing right now, he's gonna lose. If he starts being gradual and pretending that we're gonna change it eventually, oh, he's gonna get completely fucked. Right now, the only reason why he's as popular as he is in Argentina is because he literally went from having 200% inflation rate to around 30 this past year, and he's probably have single digits next year, which is unheard of. Like the way that it went down from about 15, it was 20% the first month he got in office, and it's been like 2% per month. It's
because they're not all those fucking things that they had that he cut.
Yeah. And he will keep, like he's saying that he's gonna make more changes, and he has to do it. And the big problem that we've been having all around the world is that we just want to do gradual. Oh, we're gonna change it eventually. Oh, we're gonna do this eventually. That's not gonna work. We have to do big changes at the end of the day, and I agree with that. The other thing that I will say is that I know that a lot of people give a lot of shit to Trump, a lot of shit to Trump, but um I don't think it's gonna happen during his presidency. But what we need to do is like win the next 3 to 4 elections and actually put people in power that represents the Christian nationalist idea.
Well,
Emmett.
the only thing I don't like what he's doing is giving a few countries some money, and I don't really agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with giving country money. Like, I understand that. I don't want anyone
Like
and
I get
anybody
the
to get it.
Argentina, they took a loan and that they're paying back, but
No,
there's
I agree with you, K2. I don't want any fucking money to go any fucking where, okay? But what I'm gonna say is I don't think we're gonna fix those kind of issues in one presidency. I think
correct.
the way that the left has moved the whole power structure and thing, it took them about 50 years. So we might need to start thinking a bit more about, hey, we cannot get discouraged. We need to have some hope. We need to vote for the right people. We need to actually get involved. We need to figure out a way in which, yeah, maybe it sucks this time. Maybe we're not gonna get everything we want, but we're gonna keep on pushing so that we get everything we want.
We need to push harder.
Emmett, ever heard of the Nicene Creed? No, that's news to me. I've never heard of that one. I think I've never heard of the Nicene Creed ever. By the way, there's like 2 Nicene Creeds for the Catholic Church, which is fucking insane to me, but it's fine. That's my assessment. We need 2 cycles to get back to the pre-COVID economy. I don't think we need 2. If
I just
if Trump does what
don't
he
want
said he was gonna do, and like gets rid of personal income tax, you don't. The only problem is you're gonna have a big ass issue when it comes to the debt. It can be met, and there are ways around it, and I think can be solved. But like, you need the second part of the Trump administration to be focused on getting rid of really bad really bad practices on the government, and for that we need to get the midterms. If we get the midterms, we can I can see it all going well.
get out there and vote, and make sure you keep your woman tied up in the chair so she doesn't vote liberally.
At least, right? It's like, at least don't vote. If you're gonna vote, leave her out, don't vote. Did you see the
I just don't want to
sh-
go back to neocon like the George Bush administration. That's what I don't want.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
kind of
anybody
like
wants
this.
that. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want that. That would suck. But again,
Yeah,
like,
but you
we have to
Lindsey
be
Graham
able to
and Ted
say,
Cruz.
yeah. I think
It's
the other
just
thing we
waiting
should
for
be
the
able to
chance to go
say,
back to that.
the other thing we should be able to say is that oh man, like, we have to be unapologetic about Christian nationalism. Like, they don't care. They will go on and tell you how good socialism is and how amazing it is for everything and all that crap. And every time we say, "Oh, Christian nationalism X," they just lose their fucking minds, right? Every single time.
Socialism's bad. I don't like people not working that are able-bodied. Go go work. I don't want to pay you. I don't want to get taxed to pay you to sit at home and just get food. Fuck you. Should be my money. Stays in my wallet.
My money,
Go get a job.
my wallet. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I get it. By the way, it's also bad for the people that
Like,
need it. Like,
I could understand like a 3 months max for someone in absolute hard time, but people are gonna take advantage of that, so I can't even think like that anymore. So I didn't mean to cut you off.
I can see reasons why you can have people on that, but it needs to be people that actually need it. Have you, like, I've seen Caleb Hammer, and I've seen like people that are absolutely nothing to do. They have they're like, "Oh, I'm in disability," and people ask like, "Why are you in disability?" And they're like, oh, I was in the military, and what I did was I drove a truck, and now I'm in disability. It's like, why? Well, I had an accident about the truck. No, about something non-related, and I got into disability. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with these? We shouldn't do that. There's like actual people that should have that kind of money going for them, and it's not these fuckers, right? Hmm. Okay, you familiar? So about the Nicene Creed? What do I think about it? It's the faith. it's it's the proclamation of faith from the church. Like it proclaims what we believe in. I I I I can recite some of it, but I don't remember all of it. Let me see. I know it in Spanish. That's why I can recite it in Spanish, but not in English. I don't know. I don't know it all in English. Yeah, I believe in one God, Father Almighty, Creator of heaven and earth, on all things visible and invisible, and in one Lord Jesus Christ, only begotten Son of God, begotten of the Father, before all the ages, light of light, true God of true God, begotten, not created, of one essence with the Father, through whom all things were made, who for us men and for our salvation came down from heaven, and was incarnated unto the Holy Spirit and the Virgin Mary, and became man, who was crucified for us under Pontius Pilate, and suffered, and was buried, and he rose on the third day according to the Scriptures. He ascended into heaven, and is seated at the right hand of the Father, and he will come again with glory to judge the living and the dead. His kingdom shall have no end. And in the Holy Spirit of the Creator, who proceeds from the Father, who together with the Father and the Son is worshipped and glorified, who spoke through the prophets. In one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church, I confess one baptism for the forgiveness of sins. I look for the resurrection of the dead and the life of the age to come. Amen. Yeah. I mean, you were speaking of Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism is the idea is that the nation state is beholden to
Well,
Christian values, right?
well, to be fair, no Protestants because they all gay.
Like it depends on the Protestant. I have a problem with some evangelicals and some other ideas. The problem is not. Did you see? I don't know if you catch me. I was once on a panel, I think on Apes, and there was this guy, and he was talking about how and he doesn't really care much about the Andrew Wilson like debates because he gave us like an idea of it with like he heard an argument from Andrew Wilson and thought it was a great argument, but he didn't really care about it much, right? That's what he said. And my answer was, um, my answer was like, what do you mean by that? I don't understand what you're talking about. And he was like, well, it's not like it's gonna be relevant to Christ. I'm like, do you think like changing the culture so that babies are not deleted is not to glorify Jesus Christ? What are you talking about? So it's a little bit difficult because they're so weird coded. Like we can't do anything in government. It's freaking weird. Yeah, because obviously not. Uh, yeah, because obviously it's not true. However, damn Christians equals white people. I mean, you were speaking of Christian. Oh yeah, but the point of Christian nationalism, as I said, is that the nation state is beholden to um to Christian values. I need to take 1 second. I'll be right back.
All right, it is now the K2 show. and I'll be insulting everybody in chat. I don't know who's in chat, but you all deserve L's. Except for Cecil. He gets the W because he got a pay raise and a promotion. Congratulations. But the rest of you, make sure you hit that like. And if you really enjoyed the show, send Emmett a donation of whatever you can. If you can't, then don't worry about it. This month is coping month. So if you got anything to cope about in chat, please put it in there. Please cope in chat for a little bit while Emmett's gone. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? You guys all eat well? I had cold waffles and listened to Creed. Yeah. And then I eventually played Repo with Emmett, Elder Line, and Oxycat, as you all saw the other day. Everybody deserves an L. Oh, yeah, there's a big storm front coming. Today is double time until I clock out. It was triple time, except for the first 8 hours, and then it goes back down to double. Pretty happy about that. Pretty happy about that. Have the balls and go, give me a pay raise. I don't really have to do that. I'm not been in that predicament, Cecil. I do collectively bargain. Say what you want. Has its plus or minuses, but I I I give it more of a positive. See, so we all do. Sorry, Mister. That was a little too long. I gotta focus. I can only take a quick look down. I don't mean to ignore you, Mister. Said something about a big pick. Cecil, I never worked in a restaurant. I don't know what it's like. I've been at one company since 2011. Started from the bottom, and now I'm in the top. What? Well, I guess the pilots, but they're in a different union, so it's not really the same. But I guess those would be the big shots, and then the drivers. You get the people that work in the warehouses. All drivers. The ones that deliver, and then the ones that move stuff. Only if you knew, Cecil. Only if you knew where I worked. A lot of people. I've noticed that the only people that stay here are the whole way through are the ones who have a little bit loose in the noggin. Sorry, Cecil, I saw you type something. I can't really respond to that. I'm sorry. Right now, I can't look down. I'm on a curve. But I'll take my 2 breaks, but hopefully by then Emmett will be here. And you won't have to deal with my insufferable killing dead air. I mean, I could sing. Do you believe in life after love? But nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Signet. Oh shit! I told you guys where I work. Uh-oh. Don't come find me, Cecil. I know by the time you leave Florida, I'm gonna be gone. I thought all people that worked in restaurants were all high on meth. Oh wait, never mind. That's roofers. My bad. My bad. I thought they all get high. Oh, I think I hear Emmett.
Okay, sorry about that, K2. Are you still alive? Okay, so K2 is not alive. Cooks live on a
I'm right
diet
here.
of. Oh, there you are. Through
See,
alcohol. Oprah and be back
Cecil.
when married choices.
Me and Cecil were having a heart to heart. Oh, I couldn't read Mister's big comment there.
Begin listening to AI synth version of Metallica. Cool. I work with roofers. Why not? I'm not into meth. I couldn't hang.
Yeah, I think it's roofers that do meth, or at least what they say that they do. Not all, not all, but there's
Not all, not
been
all, not
known,
all, but most.
but most.
Yep.
Oh no, I would be scared to touch any drug with that big F word drug that's around. Anything. I heard they lace even marijuana with it.
With what? Oh, with fentanyl?
Uh, yeah, I didn't know if I could say that here on
I,
YouTube.
I
I
think
heard
it's
someone
not.
say,
I think it's not a good idea, but I just blurted it out. Came into my mind too
yeah,
quick.
that's why I was saying the F drug.
Yeah. It's just you know what? You know what is the worst part of living in a fucking horrible leftist nightmare? Is that it's the way that we speak. I hate speaking like this. I remember when it was
Yeah,
not this and you could say pretty much anything you fucking wanted. It was great. And now everybody's like super like you have to be super careful and you can't say X, you can't say Y. Yeah, so annoying.
you can't point out a certain group of people that act really funny and destroy the economy.
Yeah, that too. Really stupid.
The shekels,
Less shekels. When can I get my slurs back? Never.
never.
Never. Never is a good time to have your snickles back.
Fucking man, it so sucks not to have slurs.
You think so? I do think
Yeah,
so that having the slurs is better than not having the slurs, but it's
the
kind of annoying.
the only slur that you can still say is ginger because nobody cares. I can't even donate sperm to a sperm bank.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that. Is that true? That
Yeah,
makes no sense. I don't
yeah.
mind. I call them restarted a snowflake, but loving. They know what the code. Yeah, we know what the code words are. Yeah.
I don't like your Yahtzee. I like the windmill. It takes people off guard.
What are you talking about? Uh I wanna play. I wanna play Little Nightmares again. I might do it. I might just go through the whole to do a full run.
Yeah, but about that universe thing, it's just like unleaded 88, $1.96 here. Isn't that the corn fuel?
Maybe. I think so.
Like the one that burns really high.
I think so, yeah. I wanna see what else would I want to talk about today. Dude, I'm so bored of there's no like actually interesting drama going on. That is
There
not
isn't,
dumb.
except for the same drama that's been going on.
Like there's nothing I've seen that is like, damn, this is actually cool and interesting. I think the only thing I've seen that is kind of interesting is the my favorite show during this month was Caleb Hammer. I actually like thought about it. It's like, oh, these guys, this idea of making like financial audit is actually pretty awesome. Audit, 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 audio. I'll look real quick in the feeds. Yeah.
I don't think I can cowboy with a double axle. I'm just messing around if I can't get it. Ah,
Did you play Doom, the old ones?
me?
Yeah.
No, not really.
What was your first video game that you remember?
First video game that I remember
Yeah.
was Nintendo 64. You had Mario, the Lion King video game, um, NFL, whatever that year was.
Breath of the Wild.
In some
Go ahead and watch this. This is for. So I don't have time to actually play the game because, well, I don't have time to do this when my debate is the second. I think it's Tuesday. So
That's why I like Helldivers. Like you could just play whenever you want.
yeah, Helldivers is a fun game. You know what is my problem with it? The problem is the developers. I hate the developers so much.
I know you said that before. That's why I don't try to push it.
I will play it with you. I also am not the greatest. Like I know that you. The problem I have with it as well is I cannot just pick it up and play. And be like have like cool missions and stuff like that. I need to grind a little bit before I can get the cool shit to play with people. So
Nah,
it's
dude.
what
I said, nah, it's okay, dude.
I mean. I'm right. Am I not?
Mm, kinda.
Yeah. So I have to grind to go to the point where I can actually play with people, and yeah. So that's like my big complaint with it. I'm not saying that it's that I won't play it. I'm just saying that that will be my complaint.
ways, the gameplay of Breath of the Wild can feel at odds with its narrative. Here we have a story about the destruction of an entire kingdom, of horrific devastation and loss of life, the looming threat of a second disaster on the horizon, the final snuffing out of life in this land which is perhaps only days away. The potential end of all life is approaching. This is a
Elderly Australian nuns who look back into the convent will always stay, but here are the conditions. N- These nuns are out of control. What are you talking about? Three rebel nuns, one court case. Let's see this real quick. Elderly Australian nuns who broke back into their convent will be able to stay, but there are conditions. When three veterinary nuns fled their nursing home and broke back into their former convent in Salzburg, Austria, they become overnight stars. Almost every major news outlet covered them. They gained 100,000 followers on Instagram, where they posted their daily routines, a combination of praying, meeting with the community, and more surprisingly, boxing to keep fit. What the hell is these?
Boxing nuns. I heard of foxy boxing.
And now, 3 months later, the local diocese has confirmed that Sister Regina, 86, Sister Rita, 81, and Sister Bernadette, 88, will be allowed to stay at Schloss Goldenstein. I'm sorry. This is Schloss Goldenstein, but only if they agree to certain conditions. The nuns will have to close their social media accounts, return to a more secluded monastic life, and will be put on the waiting list back at the nursing home for when they cannot be cared for at the convent. In the meantime, they will be provided within 24-hour medical care and the spiritual guidance from a priest, according to a statement released by their superior, Provost Marcus Grassi, on Friday. The nuns returned to Schloss Goldenstein, the Alpine Convent and Girls' School, where they had spent most of their lives. On September 4, after several of the former students helped them flee their nursing home and arranged for a locksmith to let them back into the building. That came almost. That came after an almost 2-year-long dispute between the sister and girls, which began at the end of 2023 when the nuns said they were removed from the convent against their will. In August, their dispute further escalated, with the nuns made several allegations against Graz and the Archdiocese of Salzburg in the Austrian press. At first glance, Friday's proposal seemed to resolve the dispute, allowing the nuns to stay in their beloved home under terms acceptable to the Catholic Church. But the conditions are so restrictive, according to the lawyer representing the woman, that he said he will not advise them to accept the offer. CNN's affiliate ORF reported CNN has contacted nuns for comment. Ever since the nuns returned to the monastery, they have become the focus of the community effort to keep them there. Their Instagram account shares footage of workings installing stair lifts in the monastery, which the nun says were removed when they were at the nursing home. The sister making candles with the former students and taking part in whistling classes. In their statement, Grals thanked the nuns helpers, but said their efforts were no longer required. He also suggested that the donations the nuns had received could be given to a mission project instead. 3 elderly rebels. Oh my god. This is the best. That's the best story I've heard in forever.
a dire situation. If you took the story seriously, you should feel anxious. You should be rushing to stop Calamity Ganon as soon as possible. But that's not how most of us played the game. Most of us spent hours and hours just farting around. collecting Korok seeds, solving little side quests, searching for treasure. There is no anxiety in this gameplay, there is no rush. The lackadaisical game design encourages you to take your time. This world is not an anxious one, not even a very violent one. The world of Breath of the Wild feels peaceful. It's very pretty. The soft color palette, all the wild nature everywhere, the quiet, low-tempo soundtrack. It can all be very soothing. It's a world that I want to spend a lot of time in. It's a world that relaxes me. When I first played the game, I thought this tragic story and peaceful fun gameplay didn't match each other at all. But nowadays I
Goldenstein. Goldenstein. Oh man. Really? That was a funny one, dude. That was actually pretty funny. By the way, I've been what did I say? Ryan sucks, that's right. Oh yeah. You do know, right, at K2 that I'm gonna have the love audit for Cecil, right? K2? Oh, he's probably doing stuff.
think it's actually the opposite. Those two
Say what?
Oh, you do know that I'm gonna have the love audit for Cecil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dude,
Cecil's gonna get all the attention.
yeah. The nun story is my favorite story I ever read in this channel. I'm gonna make a video out of that one. That's so cool.
seemingly contradictory elements are really essential to each other. Because Breath of the Wild story is, at its core, a story about failure and tragedy, but also about overcoming that failure, about finding joy and beauty in the world even after a tragedy has occurred, finding reasons to live in a tragic world. I'm going to start this essay by discussing the game's world design, this peaceful playground the developers have created, and then discussing the horror that underlies that seemingly peaceful world, and then how the narrative's themes of failure and overcoming failure tie it all together. So,
by the way, I will say this: the world of Breath of the Wild and the characters and the animations are like are top notch. Congratulations to the animators and to the ones that build the world, because my god, it's pretty.
Breath of the Wild's gameplay, like a lot of Nintendo games, is all about joy and silliness and finding the fun in all these little details. These little interactions with the world that most other games wouldn't bother with. Despite its massive scale, its huge open world, its story that spans millennia, with the fate of the entire world at stake, Breath of the
And it created, like, if you look at Breath of the Wild and you look at Genshin Impact, it's exactly the same idea in the world building. I know I'm gonna bore you with gaming shit because I have a debate on gaming.
I'm here for the ride, Emmett.
You're here for the ride?
Exactly.
That makes sense. Uh Yeah, let's continue.
The Wild often feels to me like a very small-scale game. So much about its game mechanics and world design are about finding fun in little things. I was at my happiest in this game when I was simply exploring a little green shaded wood, picking some mushrooms off the ground, seeing squirrels and birds skittering among the underbrush, climbing a tree and finding a bird's nest, while that delightful little bit of piano music plays, and the wind is rustling and you hear the tittering of the birds. You can chop the trees down for wood, you can pick apples for food, you can even accidentally light the whole
Sounds like
place on
Minecraft.
fire. Or when I climbed a tall hill or small mountain and you look out and it feels like this whole world is spread out beneath you, and the terrain is rolling and so very green, and maybe it's
Nothing will ever beat Final Fantasy XIV Online. Maybe not. The whole point is which is the best. which is the best Zelda game, and I have an idea of how exactly I'm gonna make my argument. It's a very sidesteppy kind of argument, to be honest. But I don't have anything. Like, I haven't played the game all of the one. I haven't played all the games. Two, the games that I played are very oldish games, and the only one that I truly played, like all of it, is the one that is being picked out by pretty much the opposition. So my whole argument has to be created by me thinking about sideways into it and not going 100% into details of who the fuck is Link, because I have no fucking clue. Okay, so I need to be able to make an argument that sidesteps all of the kind of uh creative ideas and just goes into a more meta a little bit of more of a meta analysis of the games. That's my idea.
Sunset in the landscape has turned pink, or maybe it's raining and atmospheric, but either way, every vista in this game felt like its own reward. Every landscape a painting, and every single thing you can see, every tree, every mountain, every valley, that's a place you can go right now. There's a wonderful sense of freedom to it. Or when I was exploring some ruins, some 100-year-old
It's also very interesting that this is a very open game, and I think people have said that it feels even more open than Tears of the Kingdom. So.
crumbling fortress.
And Tears of the Kingdom was a good game, but in my opinion, the mechanic of your weapon breaking every five hits, it was very annoying, and I didn't like it.
With moss-covered husks of ancient broken machines, left over from a forgotten battle, or maybe an abandoned village where every single villager is long gone, or even just a single lonely shack on a green hill, and letting my imagination loose, imagining what life might have been like in this place before all the death and destruction, when every fortress was manned by marching soldiers and every village was alive with the sounds of work and play, and even those lonely shacks were inhabited by some family, some old hermit living on the frontier.
So for I know, this is like a after apocalyptic world, maybe.
Here, I've often heard people describe Breath of the Wild's open world as empty, or say that there wasn't enough to do or not enough to find. And while I do understand those criticisms, and I think there's some validity to them, I also believe there is something difficult to describe within this game's world design that if you don't get it, you just don't get it. I like riding my horse along the paths, I like climbing the hills, I like collecting mushrooms or hunting for deer. I like jumping off a tower and seeing how far I can glide. There is a simple joy in these acts that feel silly and pointless when you try to explain them to others, but in the moment feel very satisfying and fun. You have to experience it for yourself. You have to let yourself take it slow. Give yourself permission to waste time and not even bother trying to accomplish anything. Just enjoy meandering around this beautiful and usually peaceful playground the developers have gifted to us. Breath of the Wild reminds me a lot of Studio Ghibli's films. A lot of those movies have these grand, exciting adventure stories, but the films are never really about that, or at least didn't seem so to me. Those movies are all about these little quiet moments, these often mundane daily events, and because of that studio's extraordinary animation, those otherwise mundane moments become filled with so much color and joy. And
That is true about the Studio Ghibli. So Studio Ghibli has this amazing way of creating very, it's not mundane that he says, like he makes like these worlds, and then the best shots is like the characters living in the world, and they all of it, they always look amazing. The when Chihiro, for example, when Chihiro is like going to the train, and you just see the world for what it is in the train. Man, I just, it's such a cool it's just such a cool idea, such a cool thing. And the fact that they went for like this cartoonish style in Breath of the Wild, it's a very good callback in a sense.
life. Watching those scenes can make you feel happy just to be alive, and that's the true.
The cooking scene in Hall's Moving Castle is another example of that, even though it's like very contained. The way that the flame works and the way that everything works within that world is very nice.
Secret of their magic. Breath of the Wild feels like a 300-hour-long video game equivalent of that. The game's world is full of so much color and so much life and so much quiet joy. It's part of why I'm a bit flabbergasted when people say this game is empty or shallow. Every inch of this game's world feels absolutely full to me. And yet, as I discussed at the beginning of this video, all that peaceful gameplay can feel at odds with the game's narrative. Breath of the Wild's story is one of deep tragedy. This is a setting where the heroes failed, where the champions of good were cut down one by one, where the bad guys were victorious, where innocent lives were destroyed, where thousands were slaughtered, where the kingdom fell to fire and ruin. Everywhere you go in this game, you see the lingering scars of a cataclysmic battle. Abandoned villages, crumbling fortresses, battlefields where the earth itself has been shattered. Every time I pass a ruin in this setting, an abandoned home, an empty cobblestone street where wild grass grows between the stones and none but monsters now roam, I feel like I'm exploring a graveyard. Each ruin is like a gravestone, a monument marking where another life was lost forever. Breath of the Wild's whole world feels like one big graveyard. For all its life and light and color, it is also a melancholy setting where the twin shadows of death and ruin are ever present. As an audience, how do we reconcile these two seemingly disparate story elements? Life and death, joy and loss, color and shadow. I think the primary theme of Breath of the Wild's narrative is failure, tragedy, and disaster, but also finding a way to keep going in spite of those. Finding a reason to keep living in a tragic world, overcoming failure, building a new life in this broken place, and not necessarily repairing all the damage that has been done, because that isn't really possible. You can't bring back all the lives that have been lost, but instead finding a way to live with the damage, with the old wounds, joyfully and peacefully. Let's look at a seemingly random background character in the game. In Hateno Village, the only Hyrulean village that escaped the devastation of the calamity mostly unscathed, you can find this old woman sitting by a tree. She speaks about the setting and history of this world, which is a relative rarity in the game. It's hard to find characters who actually say anything substantial about the setting's backstory, anything specific about how the calamity affected the lives of ordinary people who survived the devastation. She says, "When I was a child, this whole region wasn't in a state fit to be sown, much less harvested. Hyrule Castle and Castle Town had been destroyed, and all the lovely folks there fell victim to. Well, back in the bygone days, we called it the calamity. But words often fall meaningless when we try to describe tragic events of a certain magnitude. I didn't come along until everything was already over. I was born during the age of burning fields. By the time I was old enough to be aware of it, the plants around Hateno Village were budding. We were self-sufficient." This dialogue is so important to understanding the setting of Breath of the Wild and to its themes of both failure and overcoming failure, that I kind of can't believe it was hidden behind some random NPC in the corner of Hateno Village, where it can easily be missed. I want to start with that line. Words often fall meaningless when we try to describe tragic events of a certain magnitude. There is a profound truth to this statement. Our language often fails to capture the emotions and the trauma of tragedies. It is difficult.
Is it snowing already, K2? Or is it okay?
It's okay right now.
Okay.
Who's asking?
I'm asking.
Oh, no, if you look,
You died?
you will see that nothing will come by me for a while.
Okay. Makes sense.
Difficult enough to describe in words how it feels when you lose a single person you love. But what about when you lose tens of thousands, when you lose entire cities and towns, when you lose your whole world in a day? What words are there for that? The word calamity specifically is not sufficient to capture the scope and terror of the tragedy the term is used to describe. I think a lot of players don't really grasp the horror and trauma of the calamity, and that's at least partly because the word itself doesn't adequately grasp that horror and trauma. It's not a failure of the writers, but of the language itself. And that's part of the challenge of telling a story about a tragedy on the scale of the calamity. What words can you use to describe this disaster to get your audience to truly understand it? For the most part, Breath of the Wild doesn't use words at all. Instead, it uses the environment itself to tell the story, and that is a really effective choice, but I'll discuss that more in a bit. First, I want to keep talking to this old lady. Let's look at her lines. When I was a child, this whole region wasn't in a state fit to be sown, much less harvested, and I was born during the age of the burning fields. The calamity didn't stop with the battle between the soldiers and the guardians, didn't stop with the razing of Castle Town, didn't stop with the destruction of so many settlements, didn't even stop when Princess Zelda successfully sealed Ganon inside the castle. The devastation wrought during the great battles continued even after those battles were over. The fires must have raged on for weeks or even months, destroying more than the battle itself had. The earth and waters were...
They want to use what?
They wanted to use a trainee for the movie. The Zelda movie.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know what they're going to be doing with the Zelda movie, to be honest.
It's already gay. I don't want to watch it.
I don't know if they were actually going to go with the tranny. I don't think they did, though. But there were like people saying, we want the tranny and shit. It's so dumb.
I know. That's why. Are they going to give in?
I don't think they are, but I don't know.
It's all Cecil's fault.
It is.
Oh shit, he's up here.
Yeah, he is.
Talking shit. Guess what?
I just picked up my phone when I said that. It's all you. No, you gotta use the character that I made for you.
What is the character? Oh, I remember.
His wig is Cecil. His wig is Cecil.
And his green bird sidekick.
Bob Bragazon. So the one that's gonna be playing Zelda is Bob Bragazon. I think it's a woman actress.
Oh, you're talking about the gay fucking thing they're doing? I mean, do you know the whole premise of Zelda?
No, I don't know what is the premise of the movie.
So Zelda is about like no matter what. It's weird because it might have like who is it that believe in the reincarnation? Who is that?
Buddhism.
Not Buddha. Huh? Is that Buddha?
Yeah, Buddhism.
Hinduism.
Well, Hinduism is let's call it Buddhism.
Regardless, but it means it's not about reincarnation. No matter what, there's always it's like different centuries. There's a time and place where like a great power comes up, and Link, he's always like a different person in a different era born. He is the the Triforce. You familiar? You've heard of that?
Yeah, I heard of the Triforce, obviously.
So the Triforce has to do with three aspects:
courage, power, love.
Courage.
I'm pretty sure those are the three. Triforce.
It's not love. It's not love. It's wisdom.
Power, wisdom, and courage. That's correct.
Yeah, Zelda is always the holder of wisdom, but Gandalf is always the power, the holder of power.
Ganondorf.
The holder of power.
I thought Gandalf was the wizard of.
Yeah, of the wizard
of what? Of what?
Of the homosexual hobbits.
So basically the premise is there's always a point in time, and the time there's like multiple times it happens. It's gonna happen no matter what.
Welcome, Pumpkinhead.
They have an era of peace, and then whenever there's a disturbance in the peace, the power holder always goes to obtain the wisdom.
Ganondorf.
The strength holder, the courage holder, has to obtain the wisdom to defeat the power. And only when all three of the Triforces obtained is peace gave him back to the
homosexuals.
Hello,
Now
Pumpkin.
listen. Now listen.
Wait,
Out of,
wait a second, Cecil. Hello, Pumpkinhead. I think you are. Mr. Mister was here a little while ago. Yeah, Pumpkinhead's in the chat. Welcome. We're just. I have a debate with what's his name? With EOD, with EOD, and he has to win this debate because you can come up if you want to. We're just talking about the Legend of Zelda because I have a debate with EOD, and I can tell you what my argument is gonna be, but I'm gonna be making an argument.
you know nothing about Zelda, dude. You're gonna lose so quick. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lose, okay? I know what I'm gonna do, and you have no idea.
You're just gonna put EOD on defense and he has to. Yeah, that's a good strategy. I like it.
I have different ideas as to what exactly I'm gonna be doing. But like, but I'm pretty sure that I can make it work. My idea is tailored a little bit towards against him.
Make him cope.
Oh, man.
What?
Make him cope so hard.
Now listen, Emmett, the Zelda universe is very interesting because there's time breaks or there's periods where courage doesn't win and the power actually wins. This is when Gandalf takes over. Like
Ganondorf.
Yeah, Gandalf. That's what I said.
You said Gandalf.
It's not Gandalf.
What
It's
the fuck does it
Ganondorf.
matter?
It matters.
It's a name.
It's literally the name.
Look. This game, the one you're talking about, Breath of the Wild,
Wait,
is an era when Gandalf takes over and destroys everything. Oh wait, Pumpkin, you got the lore? You can break them down.
No, I'm just saying that's not how you say Ganondorf.
I don't care, Ganondorf. Go ahead, tell me.
Ganondorf.
Gay and dork.
Thank you, K2. Yes.
I don't know much about Zelda lore as much anymore. I haven't played in a while.
I'm gonna be honest. My idea of the whole thing is, my idea has nothing to do with the lore. I'm not gonna win on the lore. I'm not gonna win on. I don't even think I'm gonna win on the mechanic.
So how can you even argue about which story is best when you like? Or
no, it's which is the best game.
Yeah, you don't know the stories behind each game.
I don't need to. I don't need to argue that.
Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess are by far my two favorites.
Majora's Mask is good, but Majora's Mask was like just they took Link to the Past and just reskinned it and sold it again.
I just like Majora's Mask. That's what
it's literally just a darker version.
Yeah, but that only reason I really like Majora's Mask was the Majora's Mask itself. It looked cool. I've always wanted it. Now for Twilight Princess, they gave us the best.
Oh, dude, I love Twilight Princess. It's such an underrated game.
It is.
Okay, don't do anything weird. I'm just gonna change my headset because this one is dying.
I will say Minna's best Zelda girl ever. Hands down, Minna's by far the best girl.
Just when I hear Twilight, I think of the gay vampires.
I know, right? But Twilight Princess.
No, listen. Speaking about the gay vampires, you know about Team Edward, Team
Oh God.
Team Edward versus what is it? Team Jacob. Listen, both of them. Edward is gay.
Remembered the name.
Jacob is a pedophile. Bella is based because she was gonna have a baby, even though it was gonna kill her.
Yes. I could kind of see how she's based, yeah, but I did not like the werewolf.
I don't know.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to imprint on a child. It's like, okay, that's it.
It's super pedophilic. Yeah.
Oh my God! Can we not?
So I'll just get with her child. All right.
Can we not do
that?
that?
Not say that word. How about we use P file?
How would we use PDF or something like that?
Gotta go terms of service with YouTube. They hate words.
So, Mr. asks if any of us have played the Alex Jones game.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, what are you talking about? Like
you gotta fluoride in the water,
platformer?
right? Called the Frog's
Like
Game.
the shoot 'em gunner one. I
I
played it.
figured
I know
his
you're
game
talking
would
about
have been.
Mr. Mister.
It's like playing Frogger, but it's like at a city sewer system.
No, it's not like
And then if it
Frogger at
falls in the
all.
water,
What?
and then if it falls in the water, then the frog turns gay, and you can't allow that to happen.
No, it's like what's that? It's like Contra. The Alex Jones game is like Contra.
Oh, okay, I know what that game is. Yeah. I used to play Contra.
Yeah, I know. You remember the cheat code for the infinite lives?
I think
Only way you could beat the game.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, start, select.
Yeah, he got it. You remember.
It took me a sec. Yeah.
Dude, that's
can't
like
believe I
such a
remember
staple
that.
for video games. Other video games use that. Like,
I know,
Hold on, I'll
right?
be back.
Yeah.
The start of cheats.
I think Alex Jones has.
Okay. Sorry. The Alex Jones. You know what? We can just go ahead and check this out real quick. This by Mr. Mister.
It's a video game?
Donkey Kong and Super Mario Brothers. And now the ultimate retro
Contra.
nostalgia
Oh my god,
throwback
this is
game.
the trailer?
I present
Literally
to the
Contra.
world
This is
Info
great.
Wars.
Jones's
Yeah.
New World Order Wars.
No!
They're turning the friggin' thugs.
Oh,
yeah.
right, that
I'll eat your
game.
ass. You Nazi scum.
Is this not Contra?
Let's free the patriots.
Yeah, kind of.
Globalist tech use.
Thank you.
We are going
It's
to
a bit
defeat the
Contra.
globalists
Yeah, it's definitely
very
Contra.
bigly.
This game is mostly peaceful.
Yeah, Alex Jones is my spirit animal.
I'm going to lower the world's population.
Destroying money.
Big deal.
Epstein
I'm
Island, look
taking
at
you
Bill
down,
Oh, Bill Clinton. It's like Contra, just full of Alex Jones memes.
Because as we all know, anything badass gets censored.
There is also there's another game. I don't remember the name right now. Metal Slug.
Metal Slug.
Yeah, Metal Slug.
I already
It's
read your mind, bro. I know what you're gonna talk.
It's
I love Metal
Now-
Slug, man.
Emmett, are you familiar with the original Zelda? Like
the first one.
Yes.
No, no.
Come on, dude.
I don't know anything about Zelda.
The original Zelda and Breath of the Wild are the only ones that like take place in the same canon where Ganon has taken over the world and you have to like clean it again. That's why the world's full of monsters.
Yeah,
Makes
see, I
sense.
don't. It's hard to understand Zelda's lore. It's so everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's not
to the
that
point
hard.
It
It's-
is
it's either-
everywhere.
It's always one of them won the Triforce, and they killed Link. And you're in which era are you living in? Are we
Yeah.
living in the era of power, or are we living in the era of courage?
Yeah. Like with the Twilight Princesses, with the fallen soldier that Link has to be trained by is supposedly won't be Link from Majora's Mask that died in the Kokiri Village and became a what those things called?
A Deku?
Not the Deku. He came this. What are the skeleton warriors' name called?
Oh, Skeletos?
Yeah, Skeletos. He became a Skeletos, but he never.
Yeah,
he didn't
dude,
pass
listen,
away. He just
Emmett,
become one of
they
those,
have
so
an
he became the
enemy
new Link.
called Pea Hats. How ridiculous. Why do they call them Pea Hats?
I don't
Who
know,
made that
man.
up?
Nintendo comes up with weird names.
Yeah, I don't know.
love Zelda, dude. It's one of my favorites.
I still love Zelda. It's still funny that they had to make Link right-handed so that people could play.
The only thing I hate is whiz robes. Whiz robes are never not annoying. Whiz robes?
I think the worst one are those damn squids that spit rocks at you.
Oh, you talking? What are they? I'm thinking Mario. I
Octoroks.
was gonna say a Bloopy. No, what are they
They're
called?
Octoroks.
Oh, Rocco. Yeah, Rocco Ox. Octoroks.
Yeah, I hated those squid
Yeah.
bastards.
Octoroks.
Especially in Breath of the Wild when I'm trying to do something, and, like you're trying to do those little things to find those little leaf
Look,
dudes.
Emmett, dude, if you really want to go over this, I have to argue other than sales. Why is this a better video game?
My God, can you not say? Can you not? Can you not give up my argument? I literally said I can't go through the
Look,
argument.
If you're floating a sail, if I poke holes in it and your shit sinks, it's not a good sail, dog. I'm helping you make a good sail.
It's a let me tell you something, okay? If I make,
EOD has been researching this way more in depth than you.
of course he has. He has all the time in the world. I just accept it.
He was looking into the CDIs. He was looking into everything.
I don't need to go into the
CDIs.
CDIs. Everybody knows they suck anyway.
They're hilarious though.
But they still suck.
They're the Dark Souls before Dark Souls existed.
I know. I hate how people are automatically labeling most games like, "Oh, it's Dark Soul." We're like, no, just because you got counter and parry doesn't make it a fucking Dark Soul game, guys. It's always its own
Everything's
thing.
Souls related.
Yeah, I know. Everything's
Look,
Soul
it's just because it's a good game. If you make a good game as a staple, of course everyone's gonna compare it to that.
Yep. I mean, Demon Soul was first, then Dark Souls.
I played Demon Souls, but like honestly, if you think about it, Souls stole the idea from Zelda, like Zelda on the SNES.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, dude. How you target on a character and roll around and fight him with a sword and shield.
I disagree.
Originally Zelda. See, you don't know what you're talking about, Emmett.
No, you don't know what you're talking about.
Link did it.
Link did it.
There are.
That's funny.
Boss rushes have been a thing for a long time. It has nothing to do with that.
Oh, yeah?
And
What was the one before Zelda? They did it like that, where you target on a character and you're rolling around him with a sword and everything in 3D. 3D, I'm talking about.
Oh my god.
Game one.
I have no idea, honestly. I played so many games that I've just been through everything.
Couldn't name it. They're ones that came after, right?
I'm pretty sure that rolling around is not a.
Nintendo was ahead of their game on a lot of things. It's why they became such a big publisher.
Yeah.
They're a big company.
They're just fucking up with the Pokemon franchise. They won't come up with a new idea because suckers are gonna keep buying that shit no matter what.
Well, how Pokemon's going at the moment, they may not be doing.
Pokemon is doing horribly at the moment. Yeah. Okay.
As fun as it is, I kind of like how Power World did it because they weren't afraid to do what Pokemon.
And you know, there was some guy in the office. They're like, "Let's just make Pokemon with guns. We can do it, guys." And they're like, not listening to this guy. And like Power World did it, and he's like, "I was telling you guys."
I mean, if they did that with Pokemon, but nothing too severe, like guns or something like that, it'd be okay. But
it don't even gotta be guns. Just take the idea where you're like rolling around as a person gathering Pokemon.
I just like how Power World's set up. I don't really care for the guns.
Whatever the story analysis you're grabbing is, Emmett, I could give you a way quicker synopsis. But go ahead, play it.
But I don't want to go through this quick synopsis.
Over the play button. Just play it, dog.
Well, I'm letting the people around me talk. By the way, I do like. I really like Pokemon as a setting, and I really like the way that they did it in the past. The problem is that they have not done anything with Pokemon.
Tell me you didn't cry at the Pokemon movie. You're a damn liar.
In the first one?
Yeah. When Ash died, and they say it's so gay though. I watched it back now that I'm adult, and they saved him with tears.
But it's part of the lore. If you look at any one of the movies, it all gets resolved by Pikachu tears. So if you want anything solved, you want to revive people, you want to grant wishes, anything you want, you make the fucking Pikachu cry, and you get it. Okay.
Pokemon tears should be an item.
The original idea of the movie, Mewtwo, he was upset about his creation. He's like, "Y'all made me in a lab. I'm a freak. What is my purpose?" He's like, "You guys just created me as some lab experiment to be a Pokemon and control me." No, it's like that's a great idea.
I like Mewtwo, man. His story is I still like the first movie with him in it because
and then when it comes to Mewtwo as a badass, then you got the little Mew. Just like comes around blowing bubbles at him, like what a joke.
He's like, "Who are you? What are you blowing bubbles at me?" It's like, "I'm supposed to be you." It's like, but better. It's like, no, I'm just Mew.
Yeah, I don't know.
The second one was, I don't know how I feel. Second one, but I did kind of like the design of Lugia, but his hands and wings were kind of weird.
It also gets resolved by Pikachu Tears, by the way.
No, the second
Always.
movie is the Lugia movie.
Yeah, but it gets resolved by Pikachu Tears
Oh,
when the
Yeah,
three birds are fighting and it's like the cataclysm is going, and then Pikachu cries and then everything is resolved.
Yeah,
It
apparently
did. It is.
Petrification. So apparently, if you're turned into stone, just use Pokemon Tier. Boom, there's your petrification.
Hey, look, it was
antidote.
such a like the message they're trying to convey. They're like, Pokemon aren't supposed to fight. That's literally all we do is make Pokemon fight.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, look at the Pokemon in the wild. Do they fight? Yeah, they eat each other too. They're animals still, regardless.
No. They go to the Poké Center.
Can you fix us? We had a battle.
It's like I will grant this, like the actual healthcare system in Pokemon is pretty good. All
they got
things
the
considered.
best healthcare system. It was not until what was the last Pokemon? It wasn't until they like started adding Black Nurse Joyces and she started stealing my Pokemon balls when I was
Did-
Damn it, Nurse Joy.
I started hiring these DI Nurse Joys, and now I gotta watch my Pokeballs when I bring them to the center.
I really think Nurse Joys are just clones, just like Officer Jenny. Because if you look at them, they all look the same.
I mean, wait,
And-
did you not follow the anime? Like, you know, Team Rocket, Jessie was originally a Nurse Joy, but she didn't make it through the academy, so then she joined Team Rocket.
Yeah, I know about that one. Yeah,
They're supposed to be like cousins or something. It's weird. I that's like one of the things that I think is kind of weird. It is a really bad anime.
If you're a little kid, you eat that shit up, but it's so bad if you like take it as a whole.
Wait, the way they did it is kind of bad. Like the way they actually made all of it is not great.
I was watching Digimon more over Pokemon, to be honest.
Dude, Digimon is so much more goated. Like you got these big dinosaurs battling each other in the city.
And your Digimon don't die either. They just revert back to being an egg, and then you have to start all over again. Which Pokemon, if something happens, they're dead. At least the Digimon just goes back to going into an egg. Plus, they talk. They didn't say their names. Meowth had to learn to talk, but that means Pokemon probably could talk, but none do it other than him.
Because Digimon, it was kind of like you're entering into a computer world. Like, how do you say it? Like, you know, like if we got in the future, you can go into play. How am I saying this? Like, if you can like interface and like upload yourself to a video game mainframe, that would like be like Digimon.
Yeah, that's kind of like how Mega Man BattleNet was like. You could they had it eventually where you could upload yourself as themselves. But yeah, it was pretty much you just entering a digital world. But man, they did pull some heartstrings in that show though. They didn't hold back on some sad scenes in Digimon.
Nope.
Lionmon was sad. Wizardmon was real sad.
Oh, thank you. I was like, don't bring up Wizardmon. That broke every
Wizardmon got me when I was little, dude. That was like he was so cool. And
but it's a good premise because it had to do with like self-sacrifice. You know,
Yep.
We don't got stories like that no more.
No, we don't. We got all these.
Now it's like this person is so struggled because like they're misunderstood or something.
Struggles.
Struggles.
All right, Emmett, go ahead and play this. Are you trying to figure out the premise of Breath of the Wild?
Well, the premise is this guy needs to go ahead and save this bitch so that they can go ahead and beat Calamity Gandalf together.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's all Demise's fault.
Well, let's hear this nerd's analysis.
But it's
go ahead.
But it's always the same thing. Like that's Zelda. That's pretty much the premise of all of it. And then they try to make like
the story is endless of time, you know?
No, it isn't. Nah.
What?
You're capping.
The prince saving the princess?
He's not a prince. He's a fucking commoner. He's a knight. No, he's not a knight. He's a commoner.
He gets knighted in here.
Oh, at the end?
No, he was knighted
By the princess. The
yeah.
princess always knights Link. When
Yeah,
when Zelda finds out who Link is, she always knights him because she's the only one.
Oh yeah, but
keeping
you
the
don't
ring.
start as a knight. That's the point.
Yeah, he started as a
I got
commoner kid, of course, but she
Yeah, coming.
she
It's like a
the-
coming up. Like I'm a low ground and I'm coming up.
That
why people like
that's
Emmett.
fine, but
Keep flicking me off. I see you, Emmett.
dude, you people don't get it. But in the past, it wasn't like that. Okay,
I know.
in the past, you were born. You can. There were like lower knights that were pretty much lower houses. They were lords, but of smaller houses that were knighted, and they were able to go into becoming knights or men at arms that could rise up in power. Okay, but a full-on commoner, it was extremely strange and rare that happened.
Well, actually, in Twilight Princess, Link is just living his ordinary life until he's needed. But
He
he's
gets turned into a dog.
I did like the wolf form though, but I still would have liked if Majora's Mask was at least hinted at in Twilight Princess.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Midna's mask is literally the same, has the same eyes as Majora's Mask.
Decline.
I think
For a time, it became an.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were dumb, but you weren't. So
I was. I just had to stop.
Okay.
This is the gay one, by the way.
To grow food in the ruined soil. Try to imagine this. Your home has been destroyed. Your friends and family are dead. Even when you find safety, everything has been burned. You can't grow food, and all the wild food you might scavenge has been burned. And the wildlife you might have hunted is dead or fled. And even the fish in the rivers have been poisoned by ash and debris. How do you keep going? How do you even find a reason to keep struggling, to keep on living? Wouldn't it be so much easier to just give up? And yet they didn't give up. They did keep going, as people always do. After every tragedy in our world's history, in every time and every place, after every natural disaster and every war and every massacre, there are always survivors. Somehow people always find a way to keep on living. There is an inherent tenacity to life. And I think that is central to Breath of the Wild's story. Understanding that tenacity, understanding why we keep going, understanding all the joy and beauty that can still be felt even after a terrible tragedy has taken so much from us. But before I dig more deeply into that, I want to talk to this old lady just a little bit more. If you ask her about Hyrule Castle, she will say, brave souls from nearby villages would all set their sights there, do great deeds, and return home draped in glory. I really like this line because it's one of the few lines of dialogue in the game that gives us any idea of what daily life in Hyrule Kingdom was like before the calamity, of their culture and what they valued. Hyrule Castle was not just at the geographic center of the kingdom, but the center of its culture too. If you had dreams, they were of Hyrule Castle. If you left home, you went to Hyrule Castle. If you wanted to become someone, make a name for yourself, find glory, you searched for it at Hyrule Castle. All eyes were pointed towards that single landmark. All those ruined and abandoned villages across the landscape. In every single one of those villages, you could have found young people with goals and aspirations, greedy for glory, hungry for success, ready to take on the world, and their eyes were pointed towards Hyrule Castle. In those same villages, you'd find older folks who had once left and later returned, who could regale others with stories of their adventures, of their careers as knights of the kingdom, of some battle or crisis they took part in. Across the whole kingdom, on all the roads and highways, you could have found people journeying to Hyrule Castle for the first time, their hearts high with hope. I think it's important to try to understand what life in Hyrule Kingdom was like so we can understand what was lost, to see the humanity within this tragedy. The story focuses so much on Link, the great fabled hero, and on Princess Zelda and on the champions, but we get so little information about the ordinary people of Hyrule Kingdom. But now we need to move on. I spoke before about how Breath of the Wild tells most of its story through its environment, through the landscape itself. So if we really want to understand the story of the calamity, and those themes of failure and overcoming failure, of the inherent tenacity of human life, we have to find it by reading the environment the same way we might read a book or analyze a painting. I want to focus on 3 specific locations in the game, and the stories those locations tell. I want to look at Hateno Village, Akala Citadel, and Castle Town. So since we're already there, let's start with Hateno Village. Hateno Village's story actually begins far outside the village itself, in a place called the Blatchery Plain. This plain was the site of the last battle of...
Does so far that make sense?
Yeah, it's way better. Listen, if you're gonna just pull up this video for your argument, you'll win. But I don't know if you can argue with this guy saying you're gonna forget it all. But this is good.
That's not my argument. My argument is not this guy.
Yeah, bestseller. I know, but you need a better argument.
It's not bestseller. Okay, my argument is a sidestep of the whole thing. I'm trying to be talking about why the game. I'm gonna be talking about why the game is good. Okay,
I mean, it's funny. They when they made this game, they took the original Zelda with that same story and then ran it a modern day.
Well, that makes sense to me. It's like that makes sense. Anyway,
none of the other Zeldas were like that. Yeah.
Nobody's watching. I'm gonna go to bed because I'm tired. And I
am watching. I'm the only one watching.
I know, but I have karaoke tomorrow, so I'll be doing karaoke tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah, Force Karaoke. Come watch at least. You're gonna have fun. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, watch you see how you sing these songs. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna go to bed right now so I can have a little bit of rest, and then tomorrow I'll be doing that, and I'll be finishing this video probably the next day. So yeah.
Well,
what the fuck, Cecil? You didn't at least say bye, fucker.
Don't say bye, just peace out.
I was gonna ask you about what do you think about the interaction we had earlier today with Big?
It was alright. I mean, at least Dusty didn't lose his mind like he always does when he goes on Vix.
He has lost his mind before?
I mean, yeah, he goes off on Vic. Like last time he was on there, he went off on just a tangent, and Vic was like, "Dude, your points don't make no sense. You're just saying it just to say it." Like you were making really good points, and he was just sitting there and just like, I don't know, man. Dusty's just so weird, dude.
Yeah, he's kind of weird. I thought it was funny when he was like, "Oh, you're not getting it. What happens if one of us go? No, it doesn't matter." It's like, dude, the one that's not getting it is you.
Yeah, that whole comb stuff was really annoying, dude. It's like you're missing the point, dude. But he just wanted to go off and was like, "Oh, if you cum, you cum." I was like, "Oh, just make a point."
Yeah,
people just, they never make any points. This is the what we have to deal with, the panelverse.
With the panelverse. With the panelverse. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, get some bed. Get your butt to bed.
Yeah,
I'll see you on your stream.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you. Have a good one.
You too, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
To everybody else, take care. Have a good one. Enjoy your rest. And